instead. But yeah, nothing against Kling. It's not about that. But he's also like he's in a different part of town. It's like I don't, sometimes you don't want to drive 25 minutes for your kid's lesson,
That part's realistic. I'll hear you there. I'll give you that. Don't forget, video stream up and running on YouTube, Twitch, X, and Facebook. That way you don't miss any of the shows. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube so you get everything here at 96.5 The Fan. We will get into what happened last night on the NBA side of things, historical type of performance from Victor Wembanyama. I think we were all texting about it pretty late last night as a double overtime win for the Spurs. That was top-notch. We kind of built it up yesterday, hoping it was going to be the start of a new rivalry. Well, that's a hell of a start. That's a hell of a game one. If we get 6 more of those in this series, I think we will all be thrilled. But we do start with the Royals today. And, look, we don't have to get into the same lineup conversation again. We can get into, I think, a bigger picture conversation to start things off, which is, the roster as it currently situates itself and whether or not you believe this is a fixable roster this year and beyond, or is this trending towards, hey, no, they got to completely reset this entire thing?
Because that's really the question are the problems they have fixable, or are they, as in fixable either for the rest of this year or next year if this thing is going to continue to go south? Obviously, I'm hoping, because they're less than 50 games into the season-ish, that, it's fixable for this year. That's what we're all hoping for at this point. Obviously, there haven't been any signs lately to make us optimistic that is going to be the case. And so, that part of it makes it a challenge. Here's the part of it that makes it difficult is, in order to be fixable, the guys who have not performed this year have to be good long-term answers. So let's set Bobby aside. Nothing need fixing there. Bobby's great. He's one of the best players in baseball. Not an issue. The Vinny, Salvi, Carter, Jensen, Jack Caglione quadrant, which I think is fair, because Michael Garcia, I would probably make an argument that everything is okay, at least on that end. But, those four have got to be heavy producers for you. Otherwise, the question is, can you trade one for a different person? Can you make different decisions in the lineup? Because that's really what we're talking about. All those guys are under contract. Jack Caglione, Carter Jensen, Vinny, Salvi, those guys aren't going anywhere contract-wise. So the solve part would be trade away one of your young left-handers and find a young right-hander to replace him. And so my initial instinct is I don't think it's a teardown. I do think it's a fixable roster, even based on the issues they have right now. But the problem is the fix is money. It isn't, or it's trading away young players in A-ball and finding the team that convince themselves that Kendry Churio or David Shields or Blake Mitchell or Sean Hammond, the guy some of the young players who are in A-ball that they will take in order for Major League roster. There's only 2 ways to fix it. A pile of cash or trading away a lot of your young talent, which is your solution 2 years from now for the roster. So, how are you going to fix that future roster would be the question.
I also don't think you're really talking about a real teardown unless that comes from ownership and everybody is out, right? Which to me is not, which to me is not happening. I understand we get the texts all the time about who should be around, who should be around. To me, they're not close to just blowing it all up. So both from a roster, from a front office, from a managerial perspective, I don't sense that any of that is happening. If anything happens from a personnel standpoint, both talking about player and overall front office and management, we're talking about coaches or personnel members, not at the very top, not talking about managerial, not talking about general manager. I think we would be talking about coaches in particular.
That would start there.
Yeah, and that's where it would be trending. But this team, like last night, for example, I mean, look, they struck out 13 times.
Yep.
1 for 7 again with runners in scoring position.
And same guys, Vinny and Cag, or Vinny and Salvi.
Same story.
Yeah.
And then you have what we continue to see on the base paths. This goes back to last year as well. And I don't know if it's overthinking, if it's now pressing, whatever it is. You have to be way more aware of the situation than what they were on the base paths last night. Michael Massey clearly did not see the ball well off the bat. And with the outfielder, okay, so he hesitates. All right, so that's on him. But then to compound it, Vance Wilson sends him home, and he's out by a mile.
Yeah, it wasn't.
What you would have had,
close.
You have Michael Garcia coming up next with 1 out. Why are you
Could have had a couple runners
what are
on.
you forcing the issue for there? And so I don't know if that's the coach. Like in that case, Vance Wilson pressing. This has happened a couple times this year for him, by the way. The mistakes like that just cannot continue to happen.
And look, I get it. Sonny Gray's got your number. His career
I guess, for a decade,
0.01 ERA for 10 straight years. But it's when they do desperate team things. I think that is a problem that I don't want to overlook as a portion of it. They do desperate team stuff like, oh, God, what do we do? Send him. Or what do we do? Start him. Or do an all-righty lineup. They do things that seem like under the basis of we have numbers to support this goal, but instead it comes off as this energy of we got to do something. Inaction is
like
not
desperation.
action. Yeah, there's a lot of that. And they certainly have that vibe or energy to what they do most of the time. And so at least this season. And so, I was just trying to look at the roster. I'm like, all right, starting rotation. Where they at? Because it's not just the lineup. How's the starting rotation? And it's like, well, no, they've still got some pieces there and some younger guys in a couple of years. So it doesn't feel like a teardown there unless Bubic is gone and Lugo's gone. Unless they just start trading guys away at the deadline, then we're having a different conversation. I will say the one area in which this offseason or down the road might be a teardown is the bullpen. Tell me what part of it is we got it all figured out there. You might want to just scrap that plan and start anew. Because I'll tell you, and it's not Q. This is where I don't blame Q. I don't know that I can give you the combination of guys that I could choose to pitch in an order gold that I think I can get 12 outs. You could be in charge of the bullpen tomorrow. I don't think you do a better job selecting the arms than Q.
Especially now that Matt Strom's on the IL, it's compounded with the fact that Carlos never gave you a shot this year.
Yeah,
that's that we've said it over and over, but that whole thing was.
You can say I'd never throw Alex fine, but that's not going to solve the problem.
Yeah, the Carlos thing was an absolute disaster. It's all on him, but also the organization that trusted that he would be ready for the season. Yeah. And then yes, since then he's gotten hurt, but that blew up in their face in a massive way, and it compounded what was a bullpen that was already clearly going to have some questions, but now, it's now what do you expect? Lucas Erceg is all you really feel like you got, and Daniel Lynch. Daniel Lynch, thank goodness, has had a great year. Otherwise, you think it's bad now.
Oh yeah, he's been great.
He's the only guy that's really been consistent from opening day till now.
Maybe it could be a fake starter on the back end. We'll just let him do all.
Well, it's a bullpen game today, by the way.
Well, that means Luinder Avila is probably going to throw 3 innings.
Yeah,
based on the way it is a bullpen day today. It's funny that we're saying, I don't know who you can trust to get outs, and all of a sudden they got to do this thing. And look, there are people. Look, I'm not there. There are people on the text line right now that are like, get rid of all of them. They're calling JJ and Matt Cottrero Pioli and Haley. It isn't that bad yet. We can chill a little, I think, on the it's Pioli and Haley bad. They were in the playoffs, and look, in fairness, I think Pioli and Haley did make the playoffs once with Matt Castle. Didn't they that first year? Didn't they get 10 wins and actually be a wild card team? The Royals they've been above 500 2 years in a row. And again, not to make that seem like that's a real accomplishment. In Kansas City, in some ways it is. I hate to say it. And there is a standard and a place that they were put in that we have to, pay attention to, but it's not going the way I want it to either. I am not saying clean house. I am not saying find new players, find new coaches, find a new general manager. That's just not where I am. Yet. Yet is an operative word. In fairness, because they're driving, I think, a lot of the fan base to madness. But I do think it's fixable. It's fixable with a good right-handed, middle-of-the-order bat, several good bullpen arms, and either rotation that pitches better or another arm in it, right? And so, I don't think it's so far gone that it's a let's tear down. We've seen Royals rosters. You and I have seen Royals rosters and Chiefs rosters that are teardowns. We've seen, just start over. None of this.
But again, I'll say,
but that's not this team.
I don't think they can though, unless again you are willing to completely reset everything. Throughout the entire organization. This is the group that they have banked their future on. They have. Doesn't mean you can't have tweaks along the way, and people that not everybody has to stay. But if you're talking about hey, you don't believe that. This piece, that piece, that piece, that. If you're going to just trade off all these pieces, well, then you can't even have the same front office or manager, and you got to just blow up the entire thing. If that's what you believe actually needs to happen, then you can't keep who you have around. You can't have another opportunity to reset the entire thing. This is the group. They have to figure out how to pivot with this group moving forward, both this year and, of course, beyond into 2027. That's the future. And if you were asking me to predict, overall, who's around, I expect both the manager and the general manager to be around this time next year. I really do.
Yeah, I do. Manager would be the one that would be slightly more in question.
I think multiple coaches and others will not be if this continues.
That's fair. And look, they might not be if the slide continues, like they lose a couple more games in a row to the Red Sox. I mean,
the question
a
is,
hitting coach might not make it through the week.
Yeah, well, I don't
know if that's like
that would be understandable. But as far as like the managerial side of it, I mean, it's a scenario where I guess yes. Let's see how the rest of the season goes. There's a big difference between does this team end up losing 90 something games, or do they just end up in a scenario where it still is below expectation, but they somehow salvage and win 77 games or something like that. Remember their win total was 82.5, I think, preseason, and now the win total is down to the 75, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So I guess if you're an optimist, it's go ahead. Look, JJ took over the job in September of 2021. It was right after, he became the interim, and then eventually took over. It was right at the end of the season, right? Or in September. It was 2021. So his season of record begins in 2022, I think, unless I'm misremembering this. I'm pretty sure it's no. Yeah, 2022. MLB.com. JJ Piccolo takes over as that was president. Yeah, president of baseball operations in September 21st of 2022. So I do want to point that out as far as I saw somebody say, "Hey, how do the Royals still have a terrible minor league system that only has guys in A-ball that are any good?" Bad news. And this is the sad thing about baseball versus the NBA or the NHL or NFL. It takes forever to rebuild a farm system. He took over in 2022, so his fruit should start bearing about now. Now, in fairness, you're like, well, I don't see anybody in AAA.
There is nobody in AAA or double. No, there's nobody coming up next year even.
No, Jack Caglione would be his, and Carter Jensen.
Those would be the two.
Are the guys and Noah Cameron are the people he is currently. Those are guys he drafted.
So I know, but Noah Cameron, let's act like he's a top prospect. I don't want to say they lucked into it, but Noah Cameron was never considered a top prospect.
No, but that guy goes on his checklist and look, he's not getting as much out of him this year, so we can have a conversation about that. But in the 4 years he took over, so he's got to take over a bad team. They were bad for 2 years. Then playoff team, 82-win team, and now bad again, 8 games under 500, almost all the way back to where they were in the bottom just a few weeks ago. And so it's, to me, like when people are just get rid of JJ, I'm like, I don't see that yet. He's been in charge for now year 5. Now, I will say the biggest concern for any of it is, why are you getting worse? It took you 2 years to build up. You fought for the division 3 years ago. You just missed the playoffs last year by 3 or 4 or 5 games, whatever it was. And now you're worse? Why are you getting worse? You got Bobby Wood Jr. You got all these other guys you wanted to pay and keep around. They're more transactional than they used to be under Dayton, but are the transactions helping? India, it's you want to make good transactions.
I don't want to rehash the conversation, but you guys talked about it yesterday even. The moves that the team is really good. On paper, looks like they obviously should be better than what they are, but and I know that India didn't work out, this whole Singer trade, whatever. But Isaac Collins, you mentioned yesterday, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
For the most part, that's
Isaac Collins is doing what he was brought here to be. He's not expected to be a guy that's stepping up. It's Vinny, it's Salvi, it's the lack thereof collectively when runners in scoring position. To me, that's where, again, I look at the coaching aspect of it, and it's the players that are supposed to be doing things for the most part that JJ has brought in, Isaac Collins, Lane Thomas, Isaac Collins in particular, but they're fine, which is what they were supposed to be. It's the other ones where you're lackadaisical with your coaching at times, sending guys. It feels like like we said, it feels like you're making mistakes out of desperation because you feel like your back's against the wall.
Yeah.
And if you don't figure it out, then the season's over with by the end of the month.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's been a weird year. Not a fun one last night. We'll talk more about the Royals coming up at 11 o'clock. I think a point Vern had made about the team that's worthy of talking about. But I was over on some, the standard Chiefs sites, Gold, right?
You peruse the Chiefs message boards?
Oh, not
you're in the forums?
I didn't know Cody was the message. I didn't know Cody was the message board guy.
I wasn't deep in the message boards. This was surface level. No, I can't get deep. Deep in the message boards is when they start talking about Justin Ross is the best wide receiver on the team and he deserves.
Yes. That is what you would find.
I can't get deep in the message boards.
I think the message boards where Cody gets his ideas for his songs and things like that. I think that's where the ghostwriters are at.
I can't get deep in the message boards. But I saw it was an article and it was discussing the possibility of like the running game. And we understand who the Chiefs' current running backs are. But the argument being made was that the one missing element still is short yardage. And that the person to solve that problem is, not shocking, Kareem Hunt. And I thought to myself for a minute, are we doing that again?
No.
Are we all, does anybody think Kareem Hunt needs to be back in the action, or DeMercado and Emmett Johnson and, the running backs they have in place, Ken Walker, enough to do it? Why? When you have a running back like Ken Walker, a guy who had explosive runs and was okay in short yardage, and I get it, they were bad in short yardage for a number of years in Kansas City, especially pre Kareem Hunt. In fairness, I don't need Kareem Hunt back. He just gets in the way. Like he's 30 or whatever. I thought we had put that to bed the second Ken Walker was signed, let alone when they, drafted a running back in the later rounds and brought in DeMercado and still have Brashard Smith. Are you in need of a short yardage game, Gold?
No. And Kareem Hunt, to his credit, was effective, the last year or two when they needed him. But that was also a circumstance given the running back situation in the room and where Pacheco was at and where the run scheme was at. I think this is, you got Eric Bieniemy back as your offensive coordinator. You have a different running back coach now. It is time to move on. Let Kareem Hunt help somebody else. If you think he still has something in the tank, good for him. Let him go do that somewhere else. I have no interest in bringing back Kareem Hunt again. I think that ship has sailed when you signed Ken Walker, when you drafted Emmett Johnson as well. And you said you even have Amari DeMercado there. Not that he's great, but you have enough guys. You have enough guys that can fill the void there. You're going to take a roster spot and snaps and whether someone's active on game day for Kareem Hunt at 31 years old. I don't believe that.
Who is the short yardage guy though? If it's 3rd and 1, is it just Ken Walker?
Emmett Johnson.
Ken Walker, maybe Emmett Johnson, but
I
Ken
think
Walker.
it should be Emmett Johnson. He forced 68 missed tackles, which led college football, I believe, last year. He averaged 3 yards after contact. He is Kareem Hunt.
Will they let a rookie be?
Hunt.
Will they let a rookie? This is the only argument, I guess, for Kareem Hunt. Obviously, you and I are both anti this signing, so we can establish that. Is that would they let a rookie be the 3rd and 1 back?
I don't know why you
Drew,
wouldn't.
I don't know history. I get your argument, Drew, of why not, but I'm just telling you. Do I think the Chiefs would actually do it?
They should. Then why are you in all honesty, if they bring Kareem Hunt back, why did you use your 4th round pick on a running back then? They should have drafted a wide receiver.
No, this is why I would not. This is also why I wouldn't bring back Kareem Hunt. I don't think they need him. Someone says Kareem Hunt, are we ungrateful? He led the NFL. This is the problem I feel like sometimes with we're all guilty of this.
Not ungrateful.
We're guilty of this as fans or whatever. They're like, just because it worked for a year or two doesn't you don't have to just keep running the same thing back as if that's the only opportunity to do it. Why would you just continue to be willing to bring back somebody over and over until it doesn't work? You have to get ahead of it. And so the Chiefs have to, and I think they did based on how they allocated resources at the running back spot, you have to get ahead of the problem. They were actually behind in the running back room overall. Yeah, Kareem Hunt was effective, but in general, their running game and running back room has been behind in the NFL for years. It just has. And so bringing back Kareem Hunt until you bring him back and then he just doesn't have it anymore, and then you're like, okay, shrug your shoulders and move on. I think you just pivot. You got everything out of Kareem Hunt. Good for him. Good for you. Move on.
Now, in fairness, in short yardage, running success rate last year, Ken Walker was in the top 15. So it's not like he was bad at that. Now, he only had 12 goal line carries. The reason why I guess
for Charbonnet came in.
So and so what is their plan in short yardage? It's never been Travis Kelce. What's their plan for short yardage in the goal line? Is it just to get Ken Walker the ball? Is it really to use a rookie? Is it to use the tight ends more? I don't actually have the answer to that
what they're paying Ken Walker, he needs to get the damn football on the goal line too.
He didn't.
He's making. I don't care. He's making $14 million a year. If it's 1st and goal and they're choosing not to pass the football with Patrick Mahomes and it's at the 2-yard line, my priority, at least early in the season, I want to see him prove to me he can't do it. It needs to be Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I don't disagree that
I'm not paying him $14 million to give it to the 4th round pick every single time inside the 5.
I don't care if they score. that is part of it. But I don't disagree with you. I feel like he has to get the first opportunity to do it. I've just never seen him since Kareem Hunt just turn over the most important situations to a running back. Because goal line, I will say, red zone and goal line has been a problem for them even with Kareem Hunt. That has consistently been an issue for their offense over the last couple of years. Hell, it might be the single biggest reason why the points don't match up with every other part of their success rate. They get as many first downs as the good offenses. They go as many yards per drive as the good offenses. They convert 3rd downs as good as anybody in the NFL. Like that hasn't been the issue the last couple of years. It's when they get inside the damn 20 they can't score. And I guess that's the one part of the Ken Walker signing that at least makes it interesting is that wasn't always his role for the Seahawks. It wasn't not his role. It's not that he didn't score at all, but he wasn't inside the 10 guy. And so, like,
Correct.
I am curious to see, like, Gold, you might be right that, like, on paper, it just should be him.
He's the starting running back. He's making $14 million a year. He gets the opportunity to prove to me he cannot be effective inside the goal line.
But I'm curious if that's their plan. That's all.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Seattle's plan the entire time. I am curious if it's
Kenneth Walker wasn't making that kind of money in Seattle either.
No, he wasn't.
He was still on a rookie
But he was
deal.
a first-round pick. So,
But
he was still highly coveted or thought
Yeah,
of.
but he was
Ultimately,
still
I
on a
don't
rookie
think people will care as long as, like what you said, Cody. If they score, who cares?
Oh, I
it doesn't
won't
matter
if
how
they
much
score.
money you're paying Kenneth Walker. If they score and they win games,
But Gold's right. It should be him first, and then we'll figure it out from
to
there.
get a chance, yeah.
Him and Johnson can have some short yardage.
Yeah,
I don't need
won't
to bring in
care-
Kareem Hunt to make sure.
I won't care in November if it's working, but this conversation in May, we're saying who should be doing it. I'm not going to choose the
I'm interested to see if we have
31-year-old
to revisit
veteran
this in
running back
November.
over the guy that they're paying to be a top 5 back in football.
More than fair. More
Someone
than
said Justin Fields. Hey, you're gonna run him out of Wildcat.
I am still fascinated to see what does Andy have up his sleeve with Justin Fields on a package or two.
Meanwhile, the interest in college sports continues as I think one of the bills that they had in place, to look at for college sports and the way that they pay athletes is being pulled off the floor.
Yeah, with the Score Act, I think.
Yeah, Score Act's being pulled at least at the moment. But I saw far more interesting quotes from maybe starting Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby, who we know has been suspended because he bet on himself while actively being a college athlete and is now suing the NCAA to allow him eligibility from this year. He's requesting an injunction from a judge who I saw a photo of today with the Texas Tech mascot, guns up,
He's an alum, I believe.
which is
This has been
interesting.
happening in
Did
all
you-
the court
It's the-
cases
it's
with
the
the
way-
NCAA.
it's the way
They
you
they
do it.
find a
They
favorable
keep taking
judge.
a lot of L's in this one as part of the interesting part. Did you see some of the quotes from this? Some of the excuses he's giving.
These are
Gold?
real. These are not fake. This was a quote from Brendan Sorsby in his affidavit in the court document. Quote, I rationalized placing those bets as a way to feel more connected to my team, to root for my friends, and to feel like I had a real stake in the games that I otherwise was not involved in. He later added, because the Indiana football team was not a very strong competitor in 2022, I lost most of the bets I placed anyway.
That's your own fault.
What does that have to do with you placing them?
You know what, Cody?
Would
Hey,
I
guys,
feel worse for him if he won them?
Guys, I want to feel connected to the team that I also root for as well, so that, that's the way that it comes across.
And then this
It's
party said,
embarrassing.
Instead of exercising compassion, the NCAA has responded with silence, repeated information demands, and delay. You bet on the sport. Hey, man, Brendan, bad news, man. The integrity of the sport is the single thing they have to care about the most. And you're like, and they're taking too long. And they keep demanding that I, what? Give them information about how you bet on the sport?
And I hope that he gets the help he needed, but he checked
yeah.
into treatment for this. So, it wasn't like the NCAA is doing him dirty by this or anyway. He was in way too deep with this, and he also broke NCAA rules that I think if they allow him to play, it causes a massive amount of problems.
Yeah,
a massive amount of problems.
They certainly
going
should not
forward.
allow him to play, but we have seen these courts have not been favorable toward the NCAA when it comes to eligibility type of cases. Now, this is different than just for medical
Kid
reasons
just committed
seeking
to
an
LSU
extra.
and played at the Celtics.
Yeah, yes.
I mean that's already technically happened, but yeah, that's a problem too.
But the courts have been ruling in favor of the player when it comes to eligibility. This is an eligibility question as well. Now, this involves gambling, so maybe the judge will view it differently. But yeah, basically it's a Hail Mary attempt by Brendan Sorsby, and he hired some very high profile attorney that has had success. In cases similar to this, at least in terms of eligibility cases.
The
Him
only
having
argument
an affidavit does not help him.
I will
in
say-
any way. I don't know how it does.
all of this makes him sound like an idiot. And I don't feel bad for the situation he clearly put himself in. It stinks that he has an addiction.
Yes.
And I hope that he gets the help that he needs. He did a lot of this to himself. And then the excuse making in this is very poor and does not reflect on him very well. The only thing I'll say for him is asking for an expedited ruling is not crazy if you're going to sue, because he has to decide whether or not to enter the supplemental NFL draft by a certain date.
Do we know that that's actually happening?
But
Or is he just going to be a free agent?
There is a deadline.
In his thing, there's a deadline for when he would have to submit for that. So he's asking for a ruling by that time so he can make a
also helps
decision
out
on
Texas
that.
Tech
June
too.
22nd is the deadline to apply. if you're, to be eligible for the supplemental draft.
Which is in like a month after that in July.
Yes.
So, like, if he wants to make that argument, I'll hear it. But just being like, they're not being very nice to me. They just keep, like, taking their time and demanding things.
I wanted
like,
to
you're
feel
the one
more
who broke the
connected
rules.
to my teammates. And I wanted to root for my teammates. You don't root for them by betting on them.
Honestly,
You're not rooting them on.
Sorsby did so bad in this. I'm defending the NCAA. You know how much I hate that institution. Like, I'm defending the NCAA. Do you realize how poorly you had to do in your court filing for me to be on their side?
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Up next, something that was not bad at all last night that we were all excited for, that lived up to the hype for once,
Sure did.
was what took place in the NBA with the Spurs and Thunder. Let's talk about Wemby and a historical night for him, plus the idea of switching to 24 teams in college football.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is.
Just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
The world is coming to Kansas City. Is your parking lot ready? Over at Gann Asphalt and Concrete, they'll make sure that your parking lot is inviting, safe, and of course, your project being cost-effective. Find them at GannAsphalt.com. One contractor, all things parking lot.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
As a paramedic, do you recommend seatbelts?
I'm definitely an advocate for seatbelts.
Why?
When you're in a wreck, the seatbelt immediately will lock you in place and hold you exactly where you are. And if the vehicle rolls, spins, or just sustains a lot of force, you're going to stay right where you are, protected and cushioned. That's how they're designed.
But it's my choice if I wear one. You can't make me.
It's your decision, but you're going to see me if you decide to not wear your seatbelt, and it might not be a good situation for you.
Always buckle up. A message from the Kansas Department of Transportation and your local law enforcement community.
FanDuel is giving you even better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. And with more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From point spreads to player points to threes and so much more, you can build it all into one simple same-game parlay and go for an even bigger payout. So if you're betting a same-game parlay this NBA postseason, you can bet them with America's #1 sportsbook app with our friends over at FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. One more time, that's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts player research right at your fingertips so you can check every stat, trend, and matchup all in one place. You can make your picks with confidence. Everything you need in just one app, so don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel right now, America's #1 sportsbook app and official partner of the NBA, and play your game. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength. Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
The Colonel's cooked up a new $10 bucket of the day just for you. Monday, 24 nuggets for $10. Tuesday, 8-piece fried chicken for $10. Wednesday, 10 wings for $10. Thursday, 8 tenders for $10. Friday, 24 nuggets for... Ooh, you guessed it, didn't you? $10. The $10 bucket of the day deal. Every weekday. Only at KFC. It's finger licking good.
Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax extra.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the ranch.
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Spurs got numbers hungry now behind the plate. 5-on-4. Wemby's going to pull a deep three. Oh my goodness. A logo shot. 28-footer. Ties it at 108.
Mike Tirico, Reggie Miller on the call for NBC last night. That was one of the unbelievable moments in a 122-115 win for the Spurs in double overtime to take game one of the Western Conference Finals. And yeah, seeing a 7'5", 22-year-old basketball player just pull up and drill a 30-footer is absolutely absurd.
Shades of Steph from 10 years ago in that same building.
Absolutely absurd. It was phenomenal last night. And I know we had the severe weather in the area, so if you don't have Peacock, you were watching on this tiny little box in the bottom left of your screen with no audio. I think that's how Cody was watching. I couldn't believe it. Drew and I were like, what do you mean you're watching?
You were in the trenches, Cody.
Yeah, we're like, Cody's like, too bad I'm watching on the smallest screen. We're like, what?
If you're watching the video streams like this, is how I watched the whole fourth quarter in overtime. I was like, oh.
No,
did Wemby get that dunk? I thought he traveled like 8 times on that one from the three-point line because I couldn't see it.
It was on Peacock or NBC Sports
I don't have Peacock.
on YouTube TV, NBC Sports or whatever.
Oh.
You got hit by the streaming bug this time.
Oh, he's just like, dude, it was no way to live that game. No way to live. And honestly, I'd like to make, before we talk about the game, I'd like to make a request.
Okay.
I'll even give my personal information to the government, the local government, if that's what it takes.
Hey.
I should be allowed that if I prove to you, I'll pay attention to the weather, I swear, I'll make sure everyone's safe, to turn it off. That I should just be allowed to have the game on. I should be allowed to opt out of local weather coverage if I promise I'll pay attention to it. I'll put it on the phone. I'll prove to you I have it on another device, whatever you need, so that I don't have to squint
I will say.
To try to watch the last part of the game. It's crazy.
Now, look, very impressive that all the local meteorologists were on for 6 hours nonstop,
I know,
right?
it was crazy.
Like that. Props to all of them. This is no shade at all. I will say, it was crazy. They were on from 5 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And I thought, look, I must say, the viewing area of Kansas City is pretty big.
Pretty big.
But there are times where I don't get it. I'm like, wait, we're paying attention to that far away? Someone's going to have to explain to me, and I don't mean any disrespect to our friends in St. Joseph, Missouri. How come the local TV stations don't cover St. Joe news? They have TV up there. But when it comes to weather, we cover a storm. We break in for a tornado warning near St. Joe.
Legal requirement
There
to cover a
probably
certain
is.
area.
There probably is.
But it felt wider. It was like they were naming towns. I'm not kidding. In Missouri, I didn't know existed. You know, there's a Bancroft, Missouri.
I did not.
I saw it on the map last night. There's a Bancroft, Missouri. It's a township of 100 people. We can all go up. There's also a Buttsville, and I had no idea.
Look,
they were covering
everybody has their favorite station. I thought they all did a great job last night. But yeah, some of it is crazy. I also enjoyed. There's at least one or two meteorologists. You could tell they get the rush out of it.
Oh yeah, they get amped.
Yeah, hey, shout out Nick Bender at Channel 9. He was in their little storm track thing. Oh, you could tell he was loving. He was nerding out, talking about inflow, outflow. He was nerding out. Oh yeah,
he was in deep.
Big time. Yeah.
How do you think our guy Cloudy with a Chance felt?
I don't know.
Get a little rush?
I don't know.
During severe weather last night, we'll have to check on him. He's not a local weather anchor. Maybe we'll get one in for a fan club or a couple dueling meteorologists.
Yeah, we should get some meteorologists in studio.
So
fill us in. Fill us in on what's going on.
Legally, they have to. They have to cover that amount of area. That doesn't surprise me.
Ask Carol how his night off was. Ask Carol how his night off was.
I just said I want to be able to opt out so I can watch Wimby do some work. That's all.
I think the perfect time to actually have the meteorologist is right before you guys go to training camp to give a preview of the week's weather. I think would be fair.
But we have Cloudy with a Chance for that, so we don't have to do that yet. Now, that game last night, I'll say, and not surprising. Of course, it's an all-time performance. Wimby played 49 minutes, scored 41 points, had 24 rebounds, and 3 blocks just to boot. They were also plus 16 when he was on the court. It was insane. That logo 3 was just a tip of the iceberg for what the rest of it was. And he was, 3 times better than SGA was in that game. And a huge game for them to steal. Game 1 on the road, Thunder have to be sick. That final possession they got in the first overtime, awful. Not really sure what they were trying to do offensively there. They had multiple opportunities to come back and make sure they got that one, even though they were getting an all-time performance from them. And Chet Holmgren, as you had pointed out in the show before, he can't play against Wimby. He's Wimby he can't play against the man. He shrinks. Somebody photoshopped his body with McLovin's
That's
face.
great. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, it's just
it was so good.
That man got
worked he
again.
had the great block, but other than that, Wimby's in his head. Wimby, as you said yesterday, enjoys playing Chet because he knows he's got him. But we talked yesterday about the rivalry and whether this would be the start of one. Last night, that goes a long way to get us that. I don't want to get caught up in the moment, but that was one of the best NBA games I have watched in a very long time. Very long time.
I will say it's maybe one of the problems the NBA has versus other sports like the NFL sometimes and Major League Baseball. I think you can get more games that play at a high level. The NBA does a disservice in their regular season because you never watch basketball that looks like this in the regular season ever. The NBA play, the playoff play, is a completely different type. They try. They all try.
The defense is
is a different level. In the NBA regular season, it's like 70% of this at all times. You get maybe 1 or 2 regular season games a year that play at this level. It's almost never. And then the playoffs come around, and you're like, well, I'd like to watch this 81 times, or 82 times. But in fairness, that's because they got too many games. They all play a little lighter.
They go back to back. All that other stuff.
It just didn't play this.
It did feel. So I was talking to Mac about this. It felt like the Warriors and Cavs series did 10 years ago when it was Steph and LeBron. It felt like the NBA Finals, if you will. And I think a lot of us agree that the winner of this is probably going to win the whole thing. This is the NBA Finals essentially. It gave off that sort of a vibe where every possession mattered. These two teams don't like each other. The crowd is electric, and obviously you get the star power in there as well. It just felt like a game in the NBA Finals, not just the Western Conference Finals.
And if there was any doubt, though, I do feel like for those that don't pay much attention to the NBA, Victor Wembanyama proved he's the best player in the world, and he outplayed the MVP, of course, yesterday in SGA. But he's the best player in the world, and it's very clear. If there was any doubt, last night should end all doubt.
Did
there was a lot of history
about that yesterday?
I did not.
He was asked about that post game, and they said, "Did Shea getting the MVP take you off a little bit? Did it motivate you?" And he, no media training, said, "Yeah, it did."
Good for
like,
him.
It wasn't
Good for him.
It wasn't a media training.
22 years old, youngest player ever with 35 or more points, 20 or more rebounds in a playoff game.
He was incredible. I mean, and then again, it's like the way the NBA's changed, where he can be that height and that size and just be shooting logo threes. You're like, that didn't used to be the tall man's game. They just get down there and Shaq couldn't shoot a free throw, and Wemby's out here taking it from 35 feet or whatever.
An alien.
Yeah, look, again, we said it yesterday. I mean, he's the best player in the sport, and it doesn't hurt that he's 7.5 feet tall. That certainly probably helps you be the best player in the league. But he had an all-time performance last night. So now I'm hoping that we get a similar great game against Knicks Cavs tonight, and we can.
Garden should be a good atmosphere. I don't know how it
really enjoy the NBA
lives up to
playoffs.
last night by any means. It's probably impossible to do that. But the atmosphere should be pretty cool at Madison Square Garden. We were looking at ticket prices. The lowest price to get in tonight for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is $612. Now, it's New York. I get it, but still. They're fired up, too, because this is a really good Knicks team. It's the best team they've had in a long time and a chance to go win an NBA Finals. Although, watching last night, it is hard to imagine, let's say it is the Knicks that come out of the East, them beating either the Thunder or the Spurs, but you never know.
It would be good to have, as much as I don't like the Knicks because I'm a Pacers fan. Shout out to last year when Hallie beat you guys. It's better when the Knicks. It's better when the Lakers are good. It's better when the Knicks are good. When you have games in the Mecca of this magnitude, it's just good for basketball. And I think people can appreciate it when you get Timothy Chalamet and Tina Fey and Ben Stiller and Tracy Morgan and Spike Lee, everybody down there courtside to it. It feels like, I guess it feels like what it did maybe in the 90s when the Knicks were always making it seemed like, to the conference finals or the semis like they have the last couple of years.
Every time I watch Wemby play, it just reminds me so we'd go played a lot of pickup basketball as kids or even into young adulthood and all that stuff. And we'd go to those adjustable rims and we'd play play 3 pickup games against each other to 11 or whatever on 10 foot. Then we'd lower that thing down to 7 and just actually try to run pick and roll alley oops to throw it down and
stuff.
You
lower the rim to 6 feet.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That's what it must be like to be Wemby.
7'5".
You throw it down, Drew, so I can actually back someone down and just turn around and slam it,
How does he even stay at any of these team hotels? Honestly. 7'5". I mean, how's he not?
He's been sleeping in the fetal position his entire life. He's been too tall for everybody he's probably ever been.
They're on the road at OKC. He's at some nice hotel in OKC. How's he sleeping?
Do you just stick a cot at the end to extend the length?
Diagonal? There actually might be something that they attach to the end of the bed to make it
2 beds together,
bigger.
but even then, you can't for the length of, I don't know.
Would he be too tall for California King if he was diagonal? You could never share a bed with this person, could you?
Could you do 2 beds together and then diagonal? I don't know if that works. 7'5". We're not talking about someone who's just 6'10". It's 7'5". 6'10 is one thing. That's crazy too. But 7'5".
He is the most talented player that we've ever that has ever walked the face of the earth.
Look,
before.
and I hope that
100%.
he's 22, so we don't have to worry about it for a long time. My fear always with people is it always it's awesome to watch for 3 years and then eventually back problems or ligament issue because you're just not human.
He missed
supposed
a lot
to be
of time.
that
He missed a lot of time with the blood clot problem that he had last year. I think it was last year, right?
Another thing you can't control, when you've got that kind of height. So we'll see.
Yeah, someone said they worked at a hotel, 2 beds together, laying sideways. Okay. I'm just thinking of all the life challenges that you would have, the hotel shower. He's got to lay on the floor of the shower, his head would go through the ceiling.
I think you'd have to sit.
Yeah, you can't even just crouch down a little bit. You gotta you gotta sit on the.
The good news is for him is he's going to be so rich. His house can be comfortable.
Oh, his house will be fine. I'm talking about when he's just random hotel in OKC, random hotel in Milwaukee for a road game.
Although in fairness, using anything in his house would make me feel like I'm a toddler. It'd be his counters would be too
The light
tall.
switch is way up here.
The light switch is up in the ceiling. We were watching because again, Desmond's so into basketball. We watched the YouTube 15-minute overtime highlight end of it. And we watched the whole thing this morning, and so we were watching it. And he was asking how tall he is again. I said if he was standing in our house, his head would be touching the ceiling. And he was like, how would he move? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Very tall. He'd be very uncomfortable anywhere in our home.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll get to something Vern told the morning show guys yesterday about this Royals season. I thought it was very interesting, putting things in perspective for where we're at with the 2026 Kansas City Royals. But last week we discussed the proposal that the coaches had voted on in college football, right, around this idea of a 24-team college football playoff. And Drew was mentioning to us something just about this 24 team and the reaction to it, which has been very negative, I think, for the most part, right?
Very much.
Very negative.
I'd say the college football diehards hate it. I haven't seen a single college football analyst or diehard. They all hate it. They think it's killing the NCAA college football regular season.
Is it a fear? Is it just a fear tactic, or is it legitimate that it would kill the regular season? Because look, I think we would still watch. But I do think there is a difference that if I know I could have, let's say it's that third loss maybe in some circumstance, and it's a big game, November 1st, conference game in the SEC, and right now we know, hey, if let's say you're Alabama, you lose that game, well, you may not make the CFP, but now if you already go in there and you only have 1 or 2 losses and you lose to a ranked Georgia team, it's not going to do anything. It's just not going to. So the stakes will be lower for games like that. Now, I don't know, maybe you don't call that ruining the regular season, but it certainly will have some of the marquee games not mean as much because the consequences of losing them are not going to be there.
I think the biggest reason that I would be concerned about it is it's not just necessarily like the biggest games of the year, because like Alabama plays Georgia more in the middle of the season. It's the rivalry games that are all at the end of the year, where does the game between Michigan and Ohio State mean the same if both teams are locked in to the playoff? Does the Iron Bowl still mean as much if Alabama's locked in? Auburn might not be, but Alabama is does that Clemson in South Carolina, Florida State, like all of these games, there's so many that are at the very last game of the season.
College football diehards care about those games anyway, don't they?
Yes, but I think the worry is more of does Kalen DeBoer just say we're not playing these guys like what the Chiefs might do if they're locked into the 1 seed or they're locked into the playoffs, and they just where then the game doesn't mean as much, obviously. I don't think we're there. I think a lot of it is people are really scared that it ruins the regular season from the standpoint of the games don't quote unquote matter as much, which I would kind of disagree with to an extent, because there have been seasons in the 12-team playoff that situation's already been there.
I think
Alabama might have been locked in. That didn't mean that they didn't play in the Iron Bowl. Like, everybody played in the Iron Bowl in that game. So I don't know how it would be that much different with 24 teams compared to the 12.
I think that this is... Do we like the NFL less because like a Week 6 game doesn't matter as much as a playoff game? No. It's football. It's high-level football. If anything, I actually think they're miscalculating this, Gold. I think it makes more games important. I think it makes even more games important because there's more teams fighting for a spot, playing for their playoff life, on the fringe, on the edge, volleying for playoff position. A Week 12 game against the Chiefs in Cincinnati, as they're both contending for a playoff spot, matters more than a Week 10 game where Cincinnati has no chance. They said this same thing when it went from it was only going to be 4 teams in a national championship to 12.
Yes.
And they made it seem like the games weren't going to matter, and they do. They matter more.
I think
There's more teams it matters for, more fan bases it matters for. Maybe the one individual games aren't as big. The Week 2 game of Michigan, Ohio State, if this team loses, they're going to have 1 loss, and they probably don't get to play for the national championship. Maybe it doesn't have that juice, but like the games all matter on aggregate.
Yeah,
more.
if your point is that randomly, suddenly a game involving, I don't know, Missouri and Arkansas means more because they're fringe playoff teams, and now they actually have a chance because there's 24, fine. But there is always something. Ohio State, Michigan, you can't tell me will mean as much, that game, which is one of the games everybody looks forward to every single year.
It's the last one of the year.
It will not have the same vibe. It's not, because the consequence of a loss there is probably not kicking you out of the playoff.
But because there's 24 teams, it'll matter just as much if they face each other in the playoff, which is now likely, maybe more, because they're playing for a national championship. Why can't those 2 teams end up on the bracket playing each other in the college football playoff?
I mean, that can happen now anyway.
I know, but like we've added, sure, that's fair, versus 12 versus 24. Yeah. But it's more likely 24 because just more teams.
2 years ago, though, I think that like both teams, like Ohio State and Michigan, are still in the playoff. I don't think that means the game. Part of me doesn't want to believe the game would mean less, where if both teams are locked in, they still want to beat the heck out of each other. And it still holds that weight, where I think, like we talked about with Alabama and Auburn. Alabama has been locked in before, and it's not like they sat starters because they want to beat Auburn. They want to make sure that they beat Auburn. I think that there's still enough of that rivalry, enough of that hatred, where I think it would still drive teams to play. I think some of the concern, too, is like kind of what you mentioned, Cody, actually, where people, if it's Missouri and Arkansas, and they're both like 25 and unranked, but a win for an unranked Arkansas team could actually get them into the 2014 playoff.
I think it matters now, and it didn't matter before.
Yes, but I think the people who don't want the playoffs think it doesn't matter because you're caring more about a team that's never going to win the national title.
But that's college sports.
But that's
caring about teams who are not going to win the national title is like,
but it hasn't been
the lifetime of college athletics.
But it hasn't been college football though up until recently.
That's more college basketball.
Yeah, it hasn't been college football, which I think is what people are scared of who love the college football side of things as well. They don't want to introduce. They don't. Not that they don't care, but they don't want to introduce those games meaning more into the fold. But the rumor, and I'll let you. I'm going to get off of this after. The rumor though is that based on the talk, it sounds like every conference will have a team auto bid in. So all 10 leagues in FBS play will get in. That makes the cap at SEC or Big Ten teams 7 instead of 8 or 9 or 10. You're not going to see half the SEC or Big Ten get in if they follow that format, which I think is the only way that it works, is if they allow all the conferences. And I know that, look, the MAC champion is not going to win the national title. I get it. But it helps cap the SEC and Big Ten, where those games like Ohio State and Michigan and Auburn, Alabama, et cetera, I think still matter enough where it doesn't ruin the regular season.
We'll see how it plays out if, in fact, eventually we get to 24, which we will. We just don't know if it's a year or 2 years from now, whatever it's going to be, and how will teams handle it. Because a big game win and you're in is way different than win in your top 5 seed. There's just a difference in terms of what's at stake for that game and what a coach is willing to do. And a player that has a ankle injury that if it was, hey, losing our season essentially is over versus, well, we know we're going to make the playoff. Yeah, if we play them, it can help us get a bye, but also we don't want to push it, so we'll rest some players. Like, I think that's going to be an interesting conversation whenever we get there.
We are kind of there already, though, where if you have a bye, well, do you just rest the players and not play in your conference title game, or do you play the conference title game?
It's going to be an issue. I think it could be.
Because I think the same thing already happens now, where you get if you're a 1 seed, like if Indiana would have rested their starters against Ohio State and they were lost, that doesn't mean they're any worse. Like, I don't know if they jump out of the top 4. The first 8 seeds, according to the format, the first 8 seeds get a bye. How much do you want the bye? How much do you not want the bye? With more teams, you might actually want the bye more now than you might have previously.
I would think so. One less game is always a good thing. Alex and I have had this conversation a million times.
And I don't think in the 2 years of the 12-team playoff, a top 4 is like a team that has gotten that extra rest has been very successful. Like a team that there's always one team from that first round that makes that run because maybe playing that game helps. I don't know.
Yeah, we looked at, I think this year, it is like, even though those teams got a bye, a lot of them were underdogs in those games. So it wasn't so much the rest thing that didn't matter. It's that those teams were pretty big underdogs in those games for whatever reason to begin with. All right, coming up next, though, let's get back into the Kansas City Royals. Josh Vernier, our Royals insider, he said something with the morning show guys yesterday about his time covering the team and where we're at in 2026 that I thought stood out quite a bit. Plus, we'll talk about Noah Gray, a name that maybe hasn't been mentioned as much recently. We'll explain that one next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Cole Reagans, and you're listening to Cody and Gold. Weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mo's & Sons.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit cmmosandsons.com. CM Mo's & Sons. License 202919.
As you prepare for your Memorial Day gathering, be sure to visit your local grocery store for Gates sauces and seasonings. Both are great on meats, fish, chicken, broccoli, spinach, hot buttered popcorn, and as a topping for your dips, or sprinkle Gates seasoning on chips and nuts for that extra flavor pop. Also, be sure to pick up a Gates party tray for celebration at the station. However you plan to celebrate, be sure to head to Gates Barbecue this Memorial Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks with love.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Spring is here. Now's the time to get your air conditioner ready with a $49 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. A tune-up can help save money on your energy bill and prevent expensive breakdowns. As your local home service experts, everything we do is backed by our exceptional service guarantee. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews adds up to dependable service from neighbors you trust. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and you know baseball's back. BetMGM, the official partner of Major League Baseball, is bringing the high heat all season long. All season long, you can log into the BetMGM app and receive top-tier promos that put you in the batter's box and up the excitement for America's pastime. Step up to the plate all season with Swing for the Fences, the free-to-play game where every swing could score you rewards. We're talking parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, same-game parlay boosts, and even bonus spins all season long. And the action doesn't stop there. Get more out of every at-bat and every inning with MLB same-game parlay boosts. Stack your picks and boost your potential payout. Plus, lock in bigger value with MLB odds boost tokens and MLB parlay boost tokens all season long. More boosts, more swings, more chances to win. Download the BetMGM app and step up to the plate today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Existing customer offers subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Listen all week long to Fesco and Dusty at 9:20 for Name That Country to qualify for a $500 gift card to Hy-Vee for your soccer tournament watch parties this summer. Score big when you shop Hy-Vee for official soccer apparel, souvenirs, and your favorite tailgating eats and treats all in one place. 96.5 The Fan. Range Bait with Dusty Likens is now up on The Fan's YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter channels. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
$11 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We will get to the trash of the day in about 20 minutes or so. Also, we'll talk about Chiefs tight end Noah Gray here in about 10 minutes and where things are at with him in this organization. Plus, Josh Klingler going to call in at 11:30 during the Chiefs Red Half Hour. It's been a while since we checked in with Kling, one of our Chiefs contributors. And, of course, you hear him throughout the fall on the Chiefs radio network right here on 96.5 The Fan. And before long, you'll hear him, I guess, that first preseason game with Mitch Holthus and Danon Hughes and the entire crew there on the radio network.
Yeah, soon enough. Honestly, it's like, what do you mean soon enough? It's May. 2 months we'll be in training camp.
Yeah, we'll
be up in St. Joe.
60 days-ish away, yeah.
Yeah, and in 8 weeks we'll be sitting up at training camp. It's not going to take as long as you think. Memorial Day is next week. You got big plans? 3-day weekend for the crew.
Yeah, so I'm not going. So for 4th of July, I'm going to the Ozarks. For this one, I'm staying around. I'm going to a lake on Sunday with some friends, but just Hillsdale, which is, for me, it's like a 20-minute drive. So I'm not really going out of town. But yeah, nothing.
You're going to get on a boat in the sun?
Yeah,
put on some sunscreen this
try
time?
not to get skin cancer on Sunday.
Dusty did not heed your advice, by the way. You showed up all sunburnt from your trip. And then Drew, or you were sunburned, weren't you? Oh, you were just out
from the Royals game.
From the Royals game. You got sunburned from the Royals game.
Yeah.
Drew comes back from his trip. He's fried. And then I saw Dusty post a photo.
He's in Jamaica still.
From his trip in Jamaica.
Too?
He looked like a lobster.
He took a photo.
I warned him. I said, don't be like me, please.
Yeah, he took a photo, and it looked beautiful. I'm very jealous. He's in Jamaica, and he was on the beach, and he took a photo like with the sunset or whatever, like and the back of his neck is, it's like what Drew's was.
And so he was wearing, like he endorses Surfside.
And it said, peeling.
And his post said 0 troubles. And I almost texted him and said, you got 1 trouble. And it said, you didn't put any sunscreen on. You're red as hell.
Yeah, he was very burnt, but hopefully it looks like he's having a great trip.
Maybe it's faded into a tan by the time
it might. Some people, that happens with some people. No, to answer your question, yes. I'll be, because it's the first lake and / pool of the year, I'm going to be loading up on sunscreen on Sunday, and then I might go to the Royals game on Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see. That's my plan. You staying in town or what?
Yeah, I'll be in town. Okay. I don't have any major plans for Memorial Day. I got, not kidding, 4 birthday invites.
For Memorial Day weekend?
For this Saturday.
Weekend, I guess.
Okay, for just this Saturday. There's one at 11 a.m. There's another one at 6 p.m. for my daughter. There's another one at 6 p.m. for like my sister-in-law and my niece. And there's like some other one in them, like a billion invites. It's crazy. For my wife's friend and their daughter.
I don't have kids, so maybe this is normal. This seems crazy to me. You don't schedule birthday parties Memorial Day weekend.
Interesting.
What are you doing?
I guess I don't think that hard about it.
People have family things. People want to go out of town or whatever. You're scheduling your kid's birthday party for their friend. That means it feels like they got to go that weekend. Memorial Day weekend.
Well, I can tell you, I got 4 invites. So I think we'll make 2 to 3. Not making all 4. That's crazy.
You're gonna be driving all over the city.
Yeah, and they, by the way, all different parts of the city.
Oh.
One's in like Prairie Village. One's up by the National. One's like north over by Staley. They're all over the place, man. All over the place. I'm not going to all those. I'm not going to all that. That's crazy.
Good luck with that on Saturday. Sounds like a busy day. Drew, you doing anything?
I am not. Cody, we will have you in our thoughts as you're driving all over Timbuktu. In your Timbuktu, we'll have you in our thoughts and prayers.
I'll be. Hopefully, at least half of them serve alcohol or something. You
already filled up your gas tank too. I mean, that's going to be.
It's going to cost me another $60 just to go to these things before we get presents.
No kidding.
I'm screwed.
I was listening to the morning show driving in, 2 days ago, I guess it would have been. They had Vern on, and Vern said something that really stood out because we all know Vern has been locked in this organization for 10 plus years at this point in time.
Yeah.
And he's been through some highs of World Series runs and certainly ultimate lows. And so when he says something like this, and it's May 19th, and he says this about this season, I think we all listen.
7 games below 500. To me, this has been the most disappointing season, 47 games in, but the most disappointing season that I've been a part of. I haven't been here forever, but dating back to 2012, there was never this type of anticipation, these type of expectations, this type of talent, only to lay this large of an egg. So, 7 games below 500, a 1-5 road trip. You are the worst road team in all of Major League Baseball. The tenor shouldn't be good. I'm glad to hear that the fans are not just disappointed, but angry, because the expectations in this city, not just from the Royals, but all teams, the expectations have been raised over the past decade. We expect more.
So that was Vern a couple days ago. They're now 8 games under 500. It's gotten even worse since what you said there.
It's crazy how bad the American League is. They're so lucky that they're not just out of it, right?
Yeah,
because this is
they're tied with the Tigers for last place of the AL Central, and the Guardians are in first place. And fortunately, it's not like the Guardians have 30-something wins, or 35 wins or something crazy. I think the Guardians have 28 wins or something.
Yeah,
it's not like they're out there 10 games in front of everybody. But when Vern says that for him, think about the years that he has covered. There's been some really bad seasons, but this year, because the thought was they have to compete to win the AL Central. And you go through the roster, and you got an MVP candidate, and we've gone through this, and you go through what they did. I'll even say I think what has made it even worse for me in terms of frustration has been seeing the success some of these guys had at the WBC, how much fun they were having, the energy, how big of a leader some of these guys were, and then to see them lay a complete throughout. That is actually kind of ticked me off more. Because we saw Michael Garcia be the MVP of the WBC. We saw Vinny in CAGs with the espresso machine having fun and all that. And Bobby Wood Jr. for Team USA. And then the season starts and completely different players.
Yeah, and I went through it. I didn't want to just be like, yes, I agree, Vern. I went through each year and I was like, all right, which one would have been more disappointing to me? And I was like, well, maybe someone could make the argument for 16. They only finished 500 a year after winning the World Series. I had the World Series. I didn't care. They could have lost 162 games in 2016, and I would have probably still been okay. I'd have lived my life. And so that year, maybe not, maybe 17, right? Because then you're like, hey, let's get back to the playoffs. Final ride before all these guys leave town. Last year of Haas and Kane and Moose before these guys maybe go on somewhere else. Maybe, but again, I still had the World Series from 2 years ago. Then all the other ones in between, no. This is the part that Vern is talking about and the reason why it's extra disappointing. And I want to make this very clear, they have talent. They're not a talentless group. I wasn't more disappointed in 2004. John Buck was their 3-hole hitter. I knew they stunk. Just because in 2003 they were a little good, they had no talent. 2004 had Scott Ellerton starting the beginning of the year. I knew they stunk. And your deepest part of your soul, you knew they stunk. They have people who have competed for a Cy Young on this team. Got multiple guys who finished top 3 in the Cy Young a couple years ago.
Gold gloves?
They got gold gloves. They've got the guy who's the second best player in the sport, short of Shohei. They've got players who have put up big numbers, big time numbers, who have performed. They have talent. They're just not playing like a good team. That's why it's the most disappointing. And that's why Vern's right. That's genuinely why Vern's right. And then insult to injury yesterday. Now Chris Bubich is on the IL. To go with Strom, to go with Reagans, and I'm like, well, how long?
And given Chris Bubich's his injury history, I know he told Andy Rogers that because of his history, they're going to be cautious with it and everything. But I would also say because of his history, we should all be very concerned about the elbow for Chris Bubich as well, coupled with, as you already said, Cole Reagan, Noah Cameron have been banged up this year. It's just everything's kind of falling apart on them right now. It's like the walls are caving in big time on the Kansas City Royals in 2026.
Well, and like someone says, Cody, they're out of it. I'm not arguing. Do you think I think they're a playoff team right now? They're 8 games under 500. Now, I will say,
they're minus 400 to miss the playoffs now.
They are.
Meaning you would have to bet $400 to win $100 bucks.
I guess I should be betting them to make the playoffs at this point then.
Well, I mean,
if I was betting a side of it, obviously I'm not going to. But the part about it, and I think that this is where I want to just be like, wake up, is that the AL, the American League, is genuinely so stinky. They aren't really out of it. Text line. They are, right, in the common sense. They are somehow, by some miracle, despite all of this, I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but they have to tell themselves this, 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. That's it? Like, as bad as you've played, that's it? Now they got to jump 40 teams or whatever the hell it is. You somehow have not completely eliminated yourself mathematically from this thing. Again, they've played themselves out of it, and we'd have to, a million things that have to change.
Goes back to the same thing.
Even entertain the conversation. The standings don't mean as much now.
Yeah, as I've said for weeks, I don't care about the standings in the division or anything. It's all about the 500 game, which is getting back to 500. They're now 8 games under 500. We know you're not making the postseason unless at bare minimum you're 500. Even that's not good enough. So that's why I don't. Like, frankly, I don't care that they're 2.5 out of a wild card spot because we all know you're not making a wild card.
I'm just saying they have to tell themselves that.
You're not making a wild card 8 games under 500. So
are you sure?
I am very sure.
This year might be the year, though.
I don't think so. So that's why I don't care that they're 2.5 out of a playoff spot. That truly does not matter right now.
How many sub 500 teams would be in the playoffs right now in the American League? Because that's the crazy part.
At least 2, 3.
Well, let me look it up. I don't want to just like blindly say, but as of right now, it's the whole American League. It's crazy. Right now, the American League would have 1, 2, 3, 4 sub 500 playoff teams.
Yeah, the wild cards would be the Yankees at 29 and 19, the White Sox at 24 and 23, and the Mariners at 23 and 26.
But here's the part. But
the Royals are also though, Cody. The Royals are also though 2 spots from having the worst record in the American League.
Yeah. It wouldn't be as many as I'm saying, but like it's a lot. And so but I do want to point out that if you're the Royals and you have the talent, you got to figure out a way not to panic right now. And that's hard because you keep losing and you got to figure out the small ways in which you win. And like maybe last night, right, where Massey gets can you just start doing the little things well? Because there might be a few more wins in it for you. Because the Twins are below 500 or everybody, the entire American League's below 500. It's a lot of below 500 teams. So find a way to yes, Gold, you're right. By the time the playoffs all play themselves out, can you at least play yourself back in this thing? And right now, they don't look like they look lost.
Regarding the whole
That's why it's been the most frustrating season. Vern's right. It's been the most frustrating season since Vern's been the Royals insider. It's accurate.
Regarding what Vern said, so I went ahead and texted him because you know how Vern always gives like a title to the season. I asked and obviously Vern had, for a lot of reasons, Vern and everybody else, we've all kind of hyped up this team and what they could be this year. I asked Vern what the title was for this year, and he was his title for this year is the standard. Unfortunately,
standard set has been
poor. The standard set is what has led to Vern having this feeling, I believe, and the feeling that everybody has of the sheer disappointment of what we thought could potentially be, where now they look worse than they did even last season, and obviously with all the talent that they brought in and having Cags up and knowing that Cags is playing relatively well, I would say. I mean, you even look at what he did last night again, but you're not getting the delivery that you're expecting from Vinny and from Salvi. It makes it even more disappointing. And the standard is not, if this is the year where the standard is being showcased, it's not a good one, obviously, for all the reasons we've talked about for the last 2 months.
We'll get back to the Royals coming up at noon. Obviously, they're frustrating at the moment. Hope they get a win tonight. Bullpen game. You know what? Honestly, no team Bull Durham style could use a rain out more. Just get a rain out.
Not going to happen.
You're asking for a rain out?
I don't think that's happening.
I'm officially rooting for a rain out. Let's get a rain out.
I don't think it's supposed to rain, Cody. I think they're going to get this game in tonight.
Turn the sprinklers on. Do what you got to do.
They got an off day coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, that might help, at least on that end. Let's shift gears to the Chiefs a little bit, because I was looking at, we were a week ago talking about some of the moves at tight ends, the other, and the 12 personnel and all this other stuff. But then I was trying to decide, because of where their roster is and their lack of interest in drafting one to this point, do you think there's still a part of the Chiefs in the back of their brain that thinks Noah Gray is still the long-term answer at one of 2 tight end spots? As in, is there still some hope in the back of your brain that Noah Gray could be a league average tight end if put in that position? Because last year cratered those expectations because he had the worst year of his career by a mile. Up to that point, I could have been talked into it. That he could have been a 600-yard tight end, which is good enough to be league average. And if you got a couple of league average tight ends, most of the teams in the NFL operate that way. And so I was trying to decide if that dream's dead and it's just like, well, I guess this is the swan song of Noah Gray and they'll figure it out in the offseason and hope Kyle Pitts becomes a free agent or whatever.
I think this year will tell us a lot too. You know, he's turns 28 to start this season, so it's not as if they have this young up and coming 23-year-old tight end waiting. I mean, he'll be 28 years old, not old, but also like he's not a long-term solution anyway. My guess would be post Kelce, if he has a good year this season, he along with somebody else, it would be
Gets
more
to
of
be
a
part of the
it would
room.
be more of a 2 tight end type of split thing moving forward. A lot of teams can do that if they don't have a Kelce, they don't have a Tyler Warren type of tight end, George Kittle type of tight end. They can have multiple pieces contribute to that. But I'm with you where it'll be interesting to watch him this year. You know, I know he had the serious concussion. He only missed a game, I think, from it, though. That was a really nasty hit that he took this past year. I don't know if that impacted him. How much was it just the entire offense was a complete mess at times in the plan? We'll see. But, yeah, it was disappointing, you know. I think the organization clearly has shown through their actions with the contract a year or so ago. Like they like Noah Gray, but I don't think he was ever, frankly, going to be like the clear. All right, we're just going to hand this thing off to him, and he's going to be the number 1 tight end for the next 4 or 5 years after Kelce.
I think when they gave him the extension, that was at least maybe a portion of their plan, because I looked it up last year and every year. You know, the average yardage over the last 3 seasons to be a league average tight end, 16th best tight end in the NFL, 550 yards to get it done. That's it. 550 yards. Doesn't take much to be Dalton Kincaid with 571 last year, or Okonkwo who got 560. All in the same range. Brenton Strange, A.J. Barner. Like, when you look at some of the list of the names, you're like, yeah, not exactly murderer's row there of future star tight ends. Now, look, maybe it'd have been a little bit higher if everyone had stayed healthy, because obviously Laporta and some of those other guys finished with less yards. But to be a league average tight end asks very little. And I do still think that was their original plan. I guess my question is, if he gets back to 400 yards, they talked themselves into that plus...
Him being tight end 1?
I think but see, you can be labeled tight end 1. I think, let's say Kelce is done.
As the leading receiving tight end in 2027.
Yeah, like let's say this is it for Kelce. I think next year you could see a scenario where Noah Gray, fine, and maybe he's listed as tight end 1, but they draft a tight end in one of the first couple rounds, or they sign, Kyle Pitts or somebody else, and it's just a 1-2 punch at tight end, and their hope is that they have, addressed wide receiver more effectively. Because that's the one thing we haven't talked enough about probably when we mentioned the wide receiver room of the future, and Worthy will be a big part of that if he has a nice year this year. Otherwise, they're going to have to really pivot. Rice, we all know the story there. If they don't have Kelce, well, then I think this next offseason they will revert to more resources, as much as you've wanted it.
A free agent. Well,
on the wide receiver
could be a free agent.
On the wide receiver side of things, because they've been able to get wide receiver production out of tight end for a decade.
Yeah.
When you lose that, then you better be all in on the wide receiver position.
Weird is like them not planning ahead for that. We all know it's coming. Right. You don't have a future plan. Like, that's what makes me think their plan is Noah Gray. Like, and I know that sounds crazy because you're like, that guy had 180 yards or something last year. But I do think that, like, they would have had a better plan in place had it not been, or their plan wasn't Noah Gray, because they don't have a long-term answer at wide receiver or at tight end. What are they just banking on? I don't know who the free agent wide receivers are next year. They're just banking on signing George Pickens?
It's not a great crop unless somebody like that opens up.
Is it fair to think just based on, because for Patrick Mahomes' entire career, he's had Travis Kelce. For Andy Reid's entire time, essentially, in Kansas City, he's had Kelce, or he's had a tight end that has been top tier.
I've asked that question before.
So
it scares me a little.
Is it fair to think that just based on, this isn't necessarily Andy changing his offense, I guess, if you will, but traditionally they've gone through tight end enough where I don't know if they would be content with Noah Gray. I don't know if they'd be content with a tight end only having 400 or 500 yards, Cody, even though other teams are, just because of what Patrick Mahomes is used to and what Andy Reid is used to and how that offense has kind of flowed, where they might have to change a little bit, but their best option might have to be, they might just be looking at, Noah Gray is a good second tight end, but we need to have somebody who can give us 800 yards and be at least, maybe not the best, but inside of that top 10, top 8, whatever it is.
While I agree, I think, or I fear, that that's a little bit like saying, well, I won't settle for league average quarterback play. It is hard to get
obviously
above average tight end play.
Not that they won't try, I guess.
It is hard work to get league average tight end play. Or to get better than league average. It is not easy to find the Brock Bowers. Those guys go in the top 10 of the draft. The current free agents scheduled at tight end it's pretty much Kyle Pitts. TJ Hawkinson, he'll be 30 years old by that time, or 31 years old. And then the same names are available now, right? Hunter Henry or Evan Ingram or David Njoku, the kind of players who signed one-year contracts. No one is moving the needle a ton, I guess. Maybe better than Noah Gray, depending on the type of year he has, but certainly not that. We know George Pickens, Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin. It's the olds, right, who will break in the category in there. And then guys who could be franchise tag, like Drake London or some others. And so, like, they're going to have to address it in the draft at some point. It doesn't seem like they got any long-term plans. Like, that's the part that still gets me. They plan on using next year's first-round pick to go be we're the team who trades for a wide receiver next year, A.J. Brown of the Patriots.
I think as long as they don't restructure Chris Jones' deal, and so that big number can go down and they can pivot away, I think they will be extremely aggressive in trade/free agency or wide receiver. We had this very conversation the day after the draft, which is clearly with how they have pivoted with all defense in the draft this year. I think they're setting themselves up that in 2027, they are going to address the wide receiver position via trade/free agency. Yes.
Someone texted in, you mean you don't trust Jake Brenningstool to get 800 yards?
Yeah, he can't stay healthy. So.
He was on the Camp Darling Island list last year.
He was.
He got kicked off the island pretty quick, if I remember. Didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, no, he did. Exactly.
And then
he did not play. He did not play. I mean, he flat out did not play last year.
By the way, like in a lot of ways, it's not even meant to be. I think sometimes it comes off as like we're just anti these players. It's just, I don't know, like undrafted free agent Jake Brenningstool, the odds of him ever being a successful NFL player, it's like I'm not even hating on the guy.
Let alone getting a start.
Yeah.
Or getting on the field.
I've just decided my personal philosophy on bottom of the roster NFL guys is I'll care about them when they make me. Like I can't be bothered to care about the guy who's a freak athlete, the wide receiver. I can't even remember his name now. The wide receiver who's a freak athlete who's on the roster.
Callaway or whatever?
Who's an undrafted free agent.
Caldwell? Caldwell, sorry, thank you.
I will care about him if he makes me. Until then, I won't.
Trash of the day.
All right, I teased this one yesterday. We'll make it quick here. It has to do with the lottery. So a man says he won millions in a lottery 11 years ago.
Okay.
He secretly stayed broke. He never told his family. So I guess the question is, would you just hide this from your family?
Not from my family. That's
he did
messed
that.
up.
He said his first splurge was a glass of whiskey. He placed an order for a $48 pour of Pappy Van Winkle 15. Nobody there knew him.
It was only $48?
The bartender ignored him. He sipped it slowly, allowed himself to realize for the first time that he was rich. He replied to a commenter on Reddit forum who asked about his first splurge. He said, I remember thinking, that's it? $48? He could order one every night for the rest of his life without touching the principal. After thinking about the cost, he never ordered again. It stopped being fun the second I knew there was no limit. The whiskey was the moment. He has spent quietly and deliberately. When asked about his favorite purchase, he chose a $4,000 mattress. More than the whiskey, a leather chair he lied to his mother about, an antique record player he claims he discovered at an estate sale. He doesn't even wear a watch. $2 million after taxes, he said, invested in a brokerage account. He can still draw $100,000 in disposable income a year without decreasing the principal. That's what he did, but he didn't tell his family.
I would tell the family, but props to him for not just blowing the money.
Got to tell your family.
Yeah, kudos not blowing the money.
You have to tell.
I'll tell you right now, if
somebody,
if you're the wife and you find out and you're like some grocery bill was like breaking you and you like got the off-brand seal or something, you found out this guy got $2 million in an investment account, you'd be like, it would be a deep betrayal of trust.
If you want to have to,
you got to tell the immediate family.
Yeah, I don't have to maybe tell my brother.
Yeah, well, I mean,
at least your significant other.
Include your immediate family. Now, maybe you don't want to tell
Too many people in my case.
You don't want to tell your.
I tell everybody I got all this cash. Who haven't I told?
Like, I'm not saying maybe you don't tell your cousins, or maybe there's an aunt or uncle you don't tell, or something. But like your parents, your wife, your siblings, I think those are people you tell.
Any of your siblings, Cody, that you know would go and the word would spread so much it would get to your cousins and your aunts and your uncles, where you would be like, I actually can't tell my brother, I cannot, because they're going to say something.
I will say, like, in my case, telling every single sibling, all 6 of them, is opening up a can of worms. I might as well just tell the radio show. I might as well just announce on the air I just won $2 million. So, immediately,
$2 million's also not even it sounds terrible. $2 million after taxes is also not the amount to where you could just quitting your job.
No, I still got to work.
Yeah.
Like he said, you can live off $100,000 and not touch the principal, but it also means it's not growing, and you're not continuing to go down that. I would work my regular job. I would live off the interest, and then I'd retire early. I'd just quit the show earlier. That's all. And then my kids. The funny part about kids is I wouldn't tell my kids now.
Yeah.
They're 7 and 9. They don't need to know I got $2
All of a
million
sudden,
bucks.
they're just getting a little bit more Christmas.
Well,
This is great. I love
they
this
don't need to think all that hard about it. They're like, wow, Mom and Dad really take care of us at Christmas. Yeah, we do.
Exactly.
They don't need to know. But also, like, kids don't keep secrets at all.
Yeah, the whole school would know. The whole school would know.
You know the kind of things that kids tell their teachers constantly, man. I told you they had $38 from their lemonade stand. I was burning a hole in their pocket. So wait till they find out we got
I was
a
the
couple
same
mil.
way as a kid, though. Like
Love
if I got money, for a birthday or whatever, I would want to spend it that week.
Cody,
man.
you all
I
of a sudden
pushed them
would be
off for a
getting-
day, and now they've forgotten
Cody,
about it. It's just been sitting in a jar.
You thought you were getting invites to go to birthday parties of kids you knew. You'd be getting birthday presents of kids you never even heard of just because your kid told their kid.
Oh,
their
birthday
kid told their
invites?
parents,
Yeah.
and all of a
Oh,
sudden,
yeah.
hang on a second. You have this person's parent they won the lottery? Sure, have them over. I'd love to have them over.
That is the trash of the day. Up next, Chiefs Red Half Hour. Let's talk some Chiefs football with Josh Klingler. He will be on the sideline this fall, of course, for the Chiefs Radio Network. We'll ask him a little more about the draft, look ahead to the rest of this offseason. Does he buy that video of Mahomes swinging a golf club, that everything is fine? We'll get to that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Memorial Day's almost here, and I've got a better plan than sweating in the kitchen or over the grill. I'm letting Hy-Vee handle all of the food. I'm ordering my party trays right through the Hy-Vee app. Whether I want custom builds or their huge grab-and-go selection like charcuterie, wings, seafood, sandwiches, or smoked meat, it's all there. A quick stop at their massive wine and spirits department, and I'm done. One convenient stop for the perfect party. So this Memorial Day, let Hy-Vee handle everything, from the food to the beverages, only at Hy-Vee. If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load this Memorial Day at Hy-Vee. Save 25 cents per gallon on fuel with every $35 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 25 cents per gallon with your $35 purchase, 50 cents per gallon with a $70 purchase, and so on. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the Memorial Day Fuel Saver event Monday, May 25th, only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. We're talking special drops you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. And the best part, it's every single day. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Here's how I'm handling the daily happy hour. I open the app, see what's available, and suss out. Maybe it's a profit boost on a player point total. Maybe it's a bonus bet, and I'll take a big swing and try to make some mega money and keep that bonus bet in my back pocket. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for prime time, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. So go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel is an official partner of the NBA and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're looking for new work, Gann Asphalt and Concrete is seeking motivated candidates to add value to their business and, of course, their clients. They give top pay in the industry. They have health, vision, dental insurance, paid time off, and, of course, advancement opportunities. Work with a great local company who wants to see you grow with them. Go to GannAsphalt.com and find out how this new career opportunity can work out for you. Gann Asphalt, one contractor, all things parking lot.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack. Jack had a home he needed to sell fast. And Jack thought he had it all figured out. So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers. Jack chose the highest offer. But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out, leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do. Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer
isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
When Kansas City storms roll through, hail and wind can damage your roof without you even realizing it. If your home was hit, call us at Century Roofing for a free inspection today. We handle every step with your insurance company, making the process stress-free and easy for you. For over 35 years and more than 35,000 roofs, we've been protecting Kansas City homes. Let us protect yours. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Summer means longer days and more deals at Lowe's. This Memorial Day, shop Miracle-Gro 0.75 cubic foot garden soil, 5 bags for $10. Plus, get select 1.5-gallon red, white, and blue annuals hanging baskets, 2 for $15 to show off your favorite plants. Stop traffic with stunning landscaping and save while you do it. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Thanks. Is oil marked down?
Save up to $15 when you buy 5 quarts and a filter.
And fuel treatment?
2 for $9 on Lucas.
Brake pads?
Marked down to free.
Free?
Get free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 Duralast rotors.
That's several markdowns.
For many more miles.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Rob Sight Ford, KC's Ford volume leader and top rated on Google. 135th and State Line. Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Don't forget, video stream up and running now in beautiful 4K. You can check out YouTube, Twitch, X, Facebook. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the shows here on 96.5 The Fan. Someone we have missed having on the show. It's been a little bit. Our guy Josh Klingler, of course, Chiefs silent reporter for the Chiefs Radio Network. This fall, you will hear him on the network, and as soon as preseason gets going with Dane and Hughes and Mitch Holthus, of course, right here on 96.5 The Fan. We also just learned during the break that the NFL has officially approved, Kling, the Super Bowl will be in Nashville in 2030. I don't know. You've been to Nashville, right?
Of course, it's a perfect site.
Yeah,
like they'll be in the rotation all the time. Their new stadium's going to be awesome. Obviously, all the other amenities are terrific. The walk down from the bar and entertainment district to the stadium's awesome. I mean, that was a no-brainer, especially once they were building the new stadium. I think much the same. I think Kansas City is going to be very much in the rotation, even with the weather. Once they build something new and all those things, I think they're going to be a lock. It's just a cool, the places that are, I think, proactive in that regard are going to get themselves in the mix. I mean, Nashville is going to be rewarded pretty instantly, and I'm guessing they'll be in a pretty good rotation to have that, periodically. It's a great destination city, obviously, for many other reasons. So why wouldn't the NFL make it one too?
Yeah, Nashville's phenomenal. Broadway Street's great. I will say, you've been to Nissan Stadium a couple times probably at this point. I went once during the draft. That stadium that they have now is terrible. It's as bare bones as you can get. Like, it's actually kind of shocking it's an NFL stadium.
Yeah, it got old quick too, because it's not that old. I mean,
late 90s, early 2000s or something.
Yeah, and it's just not a ton of amenities. It's fine. It does its purpose, but Nashville has had a building boom in every other regard, right? So why not do the stadium too? It's it'll be a cool NFL Super Bowl destination.
Kling, now that you've had a couple of months, obviously, to figure out how the Chiefs season went awry, and then I think sometimes how they draft and how they spend free agency tells you how they think things went south. Do you have any different perspective on what things you think went wrong for the Chiefs, or is it the stuff we talked about for a majority of the year?
No, I think it was that, and maybe getting a little bit older and trying to run a few things back versus, that's always a hard decision, right? Do you move forward and full scale go at it? Do you try to put the band back together for one more run? And then I just think, kind of a calamity of things too. I think the enormity of the last 5 years caught up with them finally. And, things started to go wrong and they couldn't kind of dig themselves out of it. And then obviously personnel wise, you saw they got younger and certainly needed to get a little bit faster if they could on defense. To try to rebuild this thing. And then, taking care of the run game first and foremost with Kenneth Walker, I think a great first step for everybody involved, right? Fans included, not just the team, but the fans included. Like, that got everybody jump started. Like, oh, okay, you're gonna kind of flip the switch and go. And we have seen that from Brett Veach and Andy Reid, that when something major needed to be addressed, they would go out and address it. And, they did so, I think, starting with the run game and then obviously some other additions since then. But I think that was probably the biggest thing that, from a fan perspective, that should have given you a bunch of excitement to say, oh, they went out and did something, and they did something big. They didn't just try to Band-Aid something together and say everything's all right. No, they need to make some major changes in how they run the football. And hopefully we'll see that productivity come the fall.
Kling, we were having the conversation just the other day about the rest of this offseason. There's a lot of reports out there that maybe the Chiefs are still looking for a veteran wide receiver. If I gave you equal money to go get a veteran defensive end or a veteran wide receiver, what do you think would help the team more in 26?
I think defensive end would help more. I think wide receiver would probably be more likely.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
I just feel like there's enough of those names, and we know the one name that's definitely there, that it wouldn't shock me that that there's a workout towards camp or maybe even later that they find that they need one more piece. That I think we all know that piece could be the one. But I think defensive end's harder to do, especially this time of the year, to be able to do it. But also, I've always been in the boat of it's okay to ask others to do more, right? So Felix, we haven't seen much. Do more. Omar Norman Lott, nice start last year. Do more. You got to take steps in your career to get better and better. Ashton Gelati, nice start. All right, let's see a little bit more. So I think it's okay to ask guys to show improvement beyond what they've done so far, because they're in, year 2 or year 3 or what have you. And it's kind of go time for some of them.
I think when you look at you'd mentioned the short yardage part of it or just the running game part of it, we were actually, there was a couple people writing, oh, I don't know. The thing they still miss is short yardage. Bring back Kareem Hunt. What do you think their short yardage plan is? I don't think it should be Kareem Hunt, to be clear. But do you think it's just going to be Ken Walker, who wasn't always the short yardage guy for Seattle anyway, didn't get a ton of goal line carries? Is that their plan for Emmett Johnson? What do you think they'll do in the 4th and 1 situations?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think the Kareem Hunt was intriguing to me heading out of the season. I thought, okay, if you're going to bring anybody back, I'd bring Kareem Hunt back and move him into that role, just specifically that role. You're our short yardage back, blah, blah, blah. I think they've done enough since then to say you're going to move on from that one. And you're only doing that one if you get into the second preseason game and you're just not comfortable, or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he could be a guy that could be, a late signee by somebody, right? A type like that where you feel like you need a veteran. But yeah, again, why not ask Kenneth Walker to do that? He didn't have to do that in Seattle, right? They had a nice 1-2 punch. Okay, well, I'm guessing you would want those opportunities, would you not? Like, I'm guessing he probably wants even a little more expanded role here in Kansas City. So definitely getting the first crack at it. Johnson's interesting. There is how much you're going to throw on him right away.
They don't do that a lot very often, as you know.
And Brashard Smith, they brought him along so slow last year, right? So are you going to do the same thing with Johnson, or are you just going to, throw the ball down near the goal line, or throw the ball on 4th and 1, which, again, I've never been asked into the offensive meetings, namely because I hate when you throw short yardage, but I get it. There's Patrick Mahomes. So, but I'm getting the first crack certainly to Kenneth Walker. Like, you're going to be my 3-down back as much as possible, and then sprinkle in the other guys on occasion. I think I would be shocked if you paid that kind of money for Kenneth Walker. I'm not saying you run him in the ground, but he's got to be a guy that plays a lot.
When you got the first look at the schedule, obviously we all went through the initial reactions of looks a lot easier at the beginning, harder at the end, early bye week stuff. What do you think has the biggest impact on their season record-wise as far as the schedule relates? Like, what's the part that's the swing part for you? Is it the early bye? Is it they got a front run a little bit? What stood out to you?
Yeah, I think, having Denver, Indy, boom, boom. If I'm ESPN, I think I got some assurances, right, that I'm not getting Justin Fields against Jared Stidham in week 1.
Yeah, I hope
right? So I would think, I'm like, hey, man, it's my first primetime Monday game. I got some assurances, right, that both these quarterbacks are going to be healthy, because that would certainly bring a completely different dynamic if either one of those two guys is unable to go to start the year. Again, another jumping off point will be next week, right? There's going to be an open practice for the Chiefs. We'll see Mahomes. We'll all make our decisions as to he's ready to go. That picture is going to get clearer and clearer as we get into training camp for sure. But assuming that everybody's full go to start the year, certainly getting off to the fast start is huge. And yeah, the back 7 games. Good grief. And I'm assuming the Raiders are going to be better. Who knows? By the last week of the season, maybe the Raiders are completely different. This is on paper, but Buffalo, Rams, Bengals, all on the road. Those are bing, bing, bing. Pats, Niners, Chargers, Raiders. Oof, that's a tough final stretch. I would have just thought, again, this is the conspiracy portion of it, that if the league thought that Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to be ready, you'd have Jets, Falcons, or Cardinals somewhere in that first 3 weeks. When they didn't do that, I thought, okay, they think it's going to be there. And then, you get what looks like a breather in the midpoint. So you can't take a break in November, certainly, and just wait till Thanksgiving for that game at Buffalo. But it is an intriguing schedule to see kind of where things line up. And yeah, what really stands out to me is the back 7 games, because hopefully you'll be in a position where you're gone and you're rolling, and now you're heading into tough games, and they're all kind of positional battles to see where you shake out. But that's a tough ending stretch on paper anyway.
We're talking to Josh Klingler here on 96.5 The Fan. You've been to most of these stadiums, I guess, at this point in time. When you look at that schedule and you see the road schedule overall, and you know how well Chiefs fans travel, what's the one, I guess, maybe that has caught your attention, the road trip?
Seattle's always great. October might be decent weather. Obviously, they've always traveled well to Vegas. 2 trips to LA this year, which is certainly kind of interesting, because they've traveled pretty well to LA. Maybe I don't know. Maybe people will take the Rams portion of it versus the Chargers, that they've already done that. So certainly those are big. I don't know how you'd advocate spending your Thanksgiving in Buffalo. But
what if I told you could jump through an entire Thanksgiving spread on a table?
That's going to be an amazing atmosphere. Yeah. That place is going to be just insane. It looks, I don't know. I someday want to go there and just watch a game as a neutral party and like hang out and walk through. It is, I think, super amazing just to watch the mass of humanity just spread out all over the place, grilling and cooking. And they're not all diving through tables. I think that's a little, a little far-fetched. Some of them are diving through tables, but certainly it looks like just a great party throughout. So, yeah, Thanksgiving maybe makes that a little bit tougher. But I think certainly the division games and then at Seattle, I think is a pretty intriguing one too. Seattle's a cool city. The stadium's easy to get to, so that one's a fun trip.
How's tennis lessons going? Cody said that his kid wants to learn tennis, and I said, "How come you don't have Kling doing lessons?" And it sounds like he doesn't trust you.
Oh man, we'll talk. Cody, come on.
He's switched to basketball. He's moved to a different sport.
Well, there's plenty of time for all the sports.
Yeah, that's true.
Plenty
Multi-sport athletes, you know. We don't specialize in this house.
You don't specialize. Multi-sport athletes, basketball players, soccer players, they have great footwork. There's plenty to build on, and there's plenty of time. Is he playing basketball like 7 days a week? Give me a day for tennis. Come on.
He is playing basketball 7 days a week, but I'm happy. But I'm happy to give up a day for tennis, Kling. You know, I just got to come out your direction.
All right, let's make it work.
There you go, Kling. Appreciate it, man.
All right, see you guys.
Good to hear from Josh Klingler, Chiefs Radio Network silent reporter, coming up this fall, and we'll start having Kling on more often, of course, once we get to training camp and the start of the season as well. Sounds like he kind of agrees on the Kareem Hunt part of it, which is like, all right, maybe it's one thing if you didn't address it the way you did in free agency in the draft, but now that we have seen the plan and you're investing all the resources into Kenneth Walker, and you went and spent not a top pick, I'll call it a mid-round pick on Emmett Johnson, and you got DeMarcado, and technically you still have Brashard Smith in the room in terms of competing at camp. You don't really need Kareem Hunt unless there's injuries and something goes poorly.
I was just thinking about it as like, if you could just make a dream list, it's like, all right, they can spend money on whatever. First and second, and I don't care which order you put them in. We don't have to get into that. It would be wide receiver and defensive line. Fairly obvious for, I think, everybody, right? Every single person. That would be option 1 and option 2 remaining on the roster of people you would target. I'm assuming 3 would be veteran swing tackle or safety or corner. Like all of those would be ahead of bring Kareem Hunt back. All of them. And I do like when I look at the way, or a second wide receiver. I mean, that's how far down the list of they'll figure out short yardage. The only part that gives me any pause is they have got to figure out how to be a better red zone team. And they took out one of their better short yardage, more consistent people in offense from last season. So they are going to have to find a way or come up with a way in order to do this and figure out a way to be more efficient. But they can't be more efficient than they were in short yardage goals, That was maximum efficiency. They were about as good as anybody in the NFL last year. And over the last 2 years, pretty much the best in the NFL in that. So if they're taking a step back there, can they be better in the red zone still? And that's for them to figure out. You and I can't solve all their offensive problems on May 19th. But it's, I do think that they've got a little work to do in figuring out what kind of short yardage team they want to be. Because I don't think it's going to just be 3rd and 1 handed to Ken Walker, like it's been for Kareem Hunt last year. I do think, despite Kling's objections, they'll throw it more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Throwing. Yeah. I just think if they're going to run it, I think he will be the guy that they hand the ball off the majority of the time there. But yes, there will be plenty of times where on 3rd and 1, they're still willing to pass the football. We didn't ask Kling about it there, but do you think it's an overreaction to the golf video from the weekend, the swing from Patrick Mahomes at his charity golf tournament? Because it looked good, but also, does that mean everything's just 100% to go? Because
I just think every sign points to Mahomes is fine.
For sure. For sure. Now, Dr. David Chow, who used to be a team doctor in the NFL, had this to say about Mahomes and what he saw in the golf swing and what it means.
Golf is not football. The fact that he can weight shift and swing a golf club is not that special. Yes, it loads the left leg, but this is not football. And pay a close attention to that video at the end. Doesn't his left knee look a little bit stiff? Number one, there is no way that Patrick Mahomes will be 100% for week 1 of this season. Physiology, biology doesn't work that way. It is still an ACL reconstruction, which is a graft. Phillip Rivers, who I did surgery on, returned to minicamp in 100 days, had his record QB rating that season, yet he wasn't 100% at the start of the season, and he's nowhere as mobile as Patrick Mahomes is. Fact number 2, there's no question Patrick Mahomes will be ready to throw and play quarterback from the pocket week 1. No question. That doesn't mean he can be Patrick Mahomes and what makes him great in terms of extending plays. Throwing from the pocket is different, but can he really protect himself? Number 3, anyone who tells you they know whether Mahomes is playing week 1 or not doesn't know what they're talking about. I have my feelings of how the Chiefs might handle it, but let me tell you this. There is no way the Kansas City Chiefs know whether Patrick Mahomes is starting week 1 or not.
So there you go. That was Dr. David Chow. Chiefs fans did not like that video over the weekend. From David Chow. I actually think what he said, I have no problem.
He also
with
said
it.
Phillip Rivers had a career year and was available right away.
I also,
But didn't he also say, in point number 2 that he said, there's no doubt he'll be ready to throw from the pocket in week 1. He will play week 1, then we know this. And then he followed up by saying, we don't know if he's playing. If Patrick Mahomes can throw from the pocket, he will be on the field in week 1,
I agree.
hands down.
I agree with you. It's also right. Can he protect himself and that kind of stuff? But
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think he's playing week 1 as well. I will say, though, people took offense to him saying there's no chance Mahomes will be 100%. By the way, I think that's
no NFL player ever is.
I think that's understood.
But I think it's fully under. Like, people were mad at him. Like, I think our guy Matt Verderam quote tweeted it and was like, "How can you definitively say that it's asinine that he's going to be 100%?" Like, of course he's not going to be 100% week 1. Of course not. I think we all know the recovery on the ACL. I'm not saying he can't play week 1, but I fully expect Mahomes not to be 100% full go Patrick Mahomes. Everything is fine. He's running down the sideline and willing to take risk and all that. I don't think we're going to see that week 1 either.
I also think that it's just but
he's playing week 1. I think we all recognize that at this point.
Also, I think the part that was ridiculous to me too, the amount of weight that you put on your left leg when you swing a golf club. I looked at it, it's like 80% of your body weight is on your left leg, the one that he tore. And then he's like, his knee looks a little stiff. That's because he's 4 months into his rehab. Like, the idea.
Well, that's in fairness. He's a doctor. And he's evaluating the video.
But 15 years ago, Phillip Rivers tore his ACL, and I'm going to assume that medical practices and surgery.
Dr. Chow is evaluating his swing 5 months into rehab. Like, it's not like he's playing in 2 weeks or week 1's in 2 weeks. He's halfway through his rehab. Yeah, the leg's going to look not fully rotated or whatever. Of course it is. The fact that he swung and it didn't look like he had any hesitation, he put all the weight on his left leg.
I don't think anything he said is wrong, though.
I understand.
He was giving comments on a video that just came out, not on a video that's coming out in 2 months.
No, I know. I understand that. But I think that for him to say golf is not football, look at his left leg. It looks a little stiff, doesn't it? It's like he's trying to find an excuse or a reason to say that he's not ready to be Patrick Mahomes, which
I think he's just trying to be cautious.
I think it's him making that comparison. I think was weak, just given the amount of body weight you put on one single leg, and he's also it doesn't look fully healthy because he's 5 months into his rehab.
Right.
It explains what he's saying. But he said it and then made it seem like he's not actually going to be ready is what it was. It wasn't, well, look at his swing. Like, he didn't have to evaluate the golf swing to tell us that he's not going to be 100% in all likelihood.
This was the reaction I was talking about on social. Everybody got so defensive about the video. You were even just doing it too. You're not even a Chiefs fan. Like, I don't get why everybody's so mad about the doctor giving his opinion on a video that we all saw, as if they're acting like, look, none of us are doctors, and I'm not saying
I don't know what it means when he swings a golf club.
So I don't know that. I don't know the exact what is. If we asked another doctor, maybe he'd have a different opinion. But for everybody to just be crushing Dr. David Chow for his opinion on the video, as if we all know better about it, is hilarious to me, honestly.
I think Drew's more offended that he's saying golf's not a sport.
That might be what it is.
No, it's not even
the athleticism required. No, it's not the same.
It's not even. When you swing a golf club, you put 80% of your body weight on your left leg, the one that he tore. Yeah, his leg is not gonna look. And
that's all he said. But what did you want him to say? You want him to lie to us?
He just said
he doesn't need to evaluate the swing. He doesn't need to do it.
How much pressure you're putting on your leg.
He made it seem like him swinging a golf club
is not football.
Thank you.
That's what it is. That's why you.
No, he made it seem like swinging a golf club.
Can we isolate just that part for future use, please?
He made it seem like swinging a golf club is no big deal for a person that just tore their ACL 5 months ago. I think that part is
golf is not football.
Anybody who doesn't think there's light pressure on swinging a golf club should ask Tiger about it.
Yeah.
His legs have been a wreck.
Look at Scotty Scheffler's leg. Yeah, Tiger played. Yeah. I think it's you.
I also think he's playing week 1. Don't worry. I'm just saying I have no problem with the doctor saying, "Hey, look, it doesn't look right yet because it's May 19th.
It shouldn't look right yet."
But he didn't say that though. But he followed up by saying there is no way he will be 100%.
I think that is true.
He used it as a reason, but he used it as a reason to he used it as a reason to essentially say that he's not going to be 100% ready when, one, we're still 4 months away, so we don't know.
But he's not going to be 100% ready. Joe Burrow wasn't.
His swing's going to look different.
I don't have to be a doctor to feel confident saying this. He's not going to be 100% on September, 10th or whatever the heck the season is.
Who's got the record? Adrian Peterson? Is he fastest ACL recovery?
Adrian Peterson wasn't 100% his first game back.
He did break the rushing record that year, so
but he's not.
If it wasn't the first game, it was by week 2.
I think Chiefs fans are being way too sensitive about this.
The full recovery time is 9 to 12 months, though. It
doesn't mean you're 100%, though.
No, but full recovery is 100%. If the full recovery is 9 to 12 months, 9 months is week 1. It meets the window for him to match. He might not because everybody's body's different, but in terms of the full recovery that is out there, 9 to 12 months matches the recovery time that Patrick Mahomes will have. So he could be 100% based on the recovery time that he's at.
He's not going to be 100%.
I'm just telling you, it fits the 9 to 12 months that we were told is full recovery, which, as far as I'm concerned, full recovery is 100% the last time I thought it was.
Yeah. I'll text our guy Aaron Borgman or whatever as well to ask him about this. This is not me. Again, I do not. None of us have gone through ACL injury and recovery and rehab and all that.
I'd never be 100% again.
My only point is that I don't think it is crazy at all that if somebody says you can recover from an injury in 9 to 12 months, it does not mean that at 9 months or at 12 months even you're 100%. I think we're misunderstanding.
I
think we're misunderstanding that you can be ready to play football and still not be 100%, and that is to me what the doctor is saying.
Yeah,
but full recovery.
Anyway, we can move on.
Full recovery is the conversation. That's what I don't understand. If it's full recovery, it's 100%. Unless full recovery means something totally different.
Yeah, I get it. At this point, you guys are going back and forth. I get what you're saying, Drew, but we just got to ask a doctor. I don't know. I get your point, Drew, that says full recovery seems like it'd be 100%, but also I don't think
golf is not football.
That's what we learned today. Up next, let's get to what's trending. Let's talk more about the Royals and whether or not this is a teardown, whether or not this is a fix for the roster. Does that exist? Next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long, with more ways to build, more value every time you play. You can stack those picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment, from those spreads to player points to threes and more. You can build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel puts the player research right at your fingertips, so you can actually check the stats, the trends, the matchups, all in one place and make your picks with confidence. It's everything you need all in one app. So don't miss your shot. Head to FanDuel.com/local and bet your same-game parlays. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you're ready to paint your home, you want it done right the first time. That's why I trust CertaPro Painters. They aren't just a service. They're local professionals with over 70,000 five-star reviews. From the detailed proposal to the final brushstroke, the entire process was completely worry-free. Get professional painting at the right price. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City, so you're dealing with local. It's CertaPro. Think about this. At some point, you stopped calling it pain and started calling it just how I am now. You started mapping out routes to avoid stairs or looking for the closest chair before you even enter the room, and that's not okay, and deep down, you know it. I want to see you get back to being you, the active, carefree version that doesn't think twice about a round of golf or a morning run. I've seen what QC Kinetics can do, and their regenerative treatments are the real deal. They're helping people right here in KC find long-lasting relief from arthritis and old injuries. We're talking about your knees, shoulders, and lower back, recovered without surgery or months in a recliner. The science is real, the treatments are natural, and your body actually knows how to heal. QC Kinetics just gives it the right tools to do it. So don't wait. Get that free consultation today. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line or in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Whoa. Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. Outside faucets are annoying. They are finicky. Sometimes even when you disconnect the hose, they freeze, or they hobble along all summer and then finally break. We are currently running our outside faucet replacement special of $399 with access. This is a pretty good deal. If you haven't used us yet, we would love to win you over. Visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Want a quieter, more enjoyable shooting experience? Centerfire Shooting Sports in Olathe is the #1 suppressor dealer in Kansas City. We make it easy for you to get your suppressor without the hassle. Need help? Our team of experts is here to walk you through the entire process. Come in today and learn more, or go online to centerfireshootingsports.com. Centerfire Shooting Sports, Kansas City's one-stop shop for all your suppressor needs.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/team. That's ZipRecruiter.com/team.
ZipRecruiter. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
When the moments in your life are too important to miss, you can trust O'Reilly Auto Parts to keep you and your plans on the road. Our professional parts people can test your vehicle's battery and even give it a charge if needed. In most cases, we can install your new battery for free. It's just one of the many services we provide at O'Reilly Auto Parts to ensure life's best moments don't find you stranded.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 5th annual Cody and Gold Garage Sale is back Wednesday, June 10th, with all auction items benefiting the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number 1 on What's Trending, the Royals continue their series against the Red Sox tonight out at Kauffman Stadium. Bailey Falter will get the start. Remember, it's a bullpen game after Chris Bubich was placed on the IL yesterday with a left elbow injury. 6:40 first pitch. Vern's on deck show at 5:30 right here on 96.5 The Fan. We will talk more about the Royals coming up right after What's Trending and where this roster is at. Short-term fix, long-term rebuild needed. Where are they at? We'll get to that in a bit.
Next up on What's Trending, the Spurs get game 1 against the Thunder in double overtime. Victor Wembanyama went 40 and 20, actually slightly above both of those numbers. in the win for the Spurs. He was excellent, including hitting a, logo 3 in order to send it to double overtime. The Knicks and Cavs game, 1 tonight. Get in price for that, almost $700 just to get a ticket to that game. So we'll see what happens there. But an interesting and certainly entertaining NBA playoffs so far.
Elsewhere on what's trending, we got the Stanley Cup postseason going on. It was the Montreal Canadiens in Game 7 taking down the Buffalo Sabres. So Buffalo, more heartbreak.
Yeah,
Buffalo
they're
sports
used to that as a city.
They kind of are. So now we got set up for tomorrow, Western final will be the Golden Knights in the Colorado Avalanche. That one will start in Denver, Colorado. Then Thursday, you got the Carolina Hurricanes who've been waiting for like over a week to find out who they will face, and now be Montreal. So Eastern Finals on Thursday. So we've got our West and East set in the NHL.
Next up on what's trending, bad news in tennis. Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from Wimbledon due to ongoing wrist issue. He announced earlier on social media he withdrew from the French Open, obviously back in April, but he's going to withdraw from Wimbledon as well. Stinks, obviously. You want the best players to be available for the biggest tournaments, but he won't be available for Wimbledon.
Jannik Sinner's to lose.
Yeah,
He'll be like minus 400 to win the tournament now.
Probably.
300, something like that.
Let's see.
Are people not going to give him credit because of that?
They'll knock him down a little.
He deserves credit, but obviously, if the best player in the world's not there, it makes it tougher. Zverev's maybe his best competition. I don't know.
It's actually less than you think. Minus 280.
Who has the second best odds?
Is the current Djokovic.
Oh, Novak, of course, duh.
Has the second best odds at plus 700. So quite a bit of a difference between Sinner and Novak. Zverev is third, and then Jack Draper fourth. Best odds.
The British man.
Starts up in June.
The best American's probably Ben Shelton.
Drawing early.
I bet.
What's that?
The best American's probably Ben Shelton.
I closed it, but probably. Yeah, most likely.
One final note, the SCORE Act, a landmark piece of legislation that would have paved the way for some new standards in college sports. Talking about revenue sharing, right? Athlete compensation, NIL, et cetera.
Regulating NIL, yep.
It will now not be brought to the House floor for a vote this week. That's according to multiple reports out there. So we don't know what the future holds when it comes to that. But there's a lot of reasons and politics behind why that happened. But the SCORE Act will not be on the House floor. So we'll see what the future is going to be when it comes to NIL and everything and this mess that we have right now in this
Wild
system.
West until they probably get some, it doesn't have to be legislation in place, but they need collective bargaining in college basketball. But how do you do it? Because college basketball players aren't an entity represented by a single organization. It's just everybody doing whatever they can to get away with it. Will Wade today got a commit who was with the Celtics on a 2-way contract this season.
RJ Lewis.
He still has to get eligible.
He still has to get eligibility. LSU still has to go through the legal proceedings. But again, the courts have been siding with the student athlete, not the NCAA has been getting crushed.
Back to the Sorsby thing.
Yeah, been getting crushed when it comes to the eligibility cases. So we'll see how that plays out. But it is an absolute mess. That is what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Coming up in about 8 minutes, we'll get to what happened in baseball last night. That's not Royals related. Pretty crazy scenario going from possible history and putting your name in the history books to then having the ultimate gut punch. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But as I said with the Royals, we've talked so much about the lineup and this team this year. We can talk about last night if you want, and 1 for 7 again with runners in scoring position and the Royals striking out 13 times. But the roster, when you look at it, is this a situation where you feel like, hey, it's a this season / next season roster fix? Does it have to be a bigger teardown? What do you think the solution actually is? We can talk about blaming people and who's responsible, as we did yesterday, but I don't think they can really tear it down unless that comes from ownership, and therefore everybody is out.
It also doesn't make sense to do that. Too much of the roster's in place.
Well, which to me is not happening for that reason, but also that's why I don't believe that any of the I'll say the key pieces involved, J.J. Piccolo, Matt Quatrero, I don't believe their job is going away anytime soon, because so much of this is all banking on what they have currently. That does not mean that they're immune from criticism by all means. And it certainly doesn't mean that I don't think coaches and other people could be fired maybe even before the season ends if it continues in this stretch. But I don't think they're really tearing anything down, Cody. This is where they have put all their eggs are all in this basket, and that goes with ownership as well in this current group.
I think if this season continues to go this direction, which it certainly might based on the way it's gone so far, there are only 2 solutions to fix the roster, though. Well, 3 if one of the solutions is everyone play better. I don't love that as a solution, admittedly, Gold, so I'd like to leave that one off the table for now. The 2 actual solutions to fixing the roster would be make trades of the young talent you have in the system and find somebody, and there are less and less teams who are willing to do this, who will give you major league talent for A-ball players. Because the truth is, most of the guys we're trading in the Royals organization are in A-ball. They're lower. The guys that just drafted, Gamble, Hammond, the guys who are good, Churio, Shields, etc. Or the options are money. Throwing money at the problem, which admittedly is not something they've not totally done, but also not done to the effect that I'm talking about here. A lot of this is the question, and I don't want this to sound like I think John Sherman's put no money into the team. They got the 17th highest payroll in baseball. They are certainly not the 17th highest market. So, like, baseball screwed up. Do I wish they had the number one payroll in baseball? Sure. They're not the Dodgers. They're never going to spend like that, so whatever. But I do think that there's a part of me that says, if you're taking winning seriously, the way you've already built this roster, teardown's crazy to me. You've put too much into it. Teardown would mean, like, everyone's gone.
That's what I'm saying. And that's not happening.
Like, they can't even do like a partial. Partial doesn't even exist. The everyday players under contract for this year, next year, the year after that. Perez, Vinny, Cags, Carter Jensen, Bobby. Like, there's so many.
This is the group.
1 through 6 in the order, maybe more. Isaac Collins under contract that entire time. And so, like, I'm not saying he has to be a long-term answer, but he's at least on the roster. And so, like, this is the group, so it's how do you solve it? And the solution in the offseason, if we get to that point, they can still try to make miracles happen is, and I was just asking, somebody asked me that, like, do they need to tear it all down? And I was like, no, because the truth is, and this is where, like, I'm still not softer. People are like, what are you going to call for JJ to be fired? I don't think he should be fired. Like, so I'm not going to call for it because I don't think he should be fired. The reason why is because I think the roster possesses talent. I think that's what pisses me off so bad about this season. I think they have talent. And some of the talent is straight up not performing. The guys we've talked about in the middle order a million times.
Absolutely.
And some of it is, like, they're not getting enough out of it. Like, it's just not quite developing or coming together in a way that makes sense. To me, it's just like, throw money at the bullpen, throw money at a right-handed bat, and and like next season, you'd finally have to have the season gold where you don't tell me how you almost got Santander and you paid for someone from the right-hand side of the plate that can hit in the middle of your order. That's the solution. They need a big bat in the middle of the order that stops all this lefty nonsense and actually brings a consistent major league bat into the middle of the order as well. That's all.
Yeah, look, I think when you take a look at the, roster makeup and, as you kind of said, the core group, I mean, this is, in large part, like, even fast forward to next year, in large part, Cody, 6 of the guys in the order, if not more, are still going to be the same guys? Like, so this is, for the most part, the group that they have. The question is, are they maximizing everything? Are they, all the data that this team has access to, are they interpreting it properly? They have the people in place. Are they relying too much on data? Are they overcomplicating it and confusing the hell out of these players? In that would be my question on the offensive side. And then, as you
I think there's some people who probably think that's going on.
I think there's a chance that that's happening in some cases. And then on the bullpen end, I'm with you, where the bullpen is just a complete disaster. That is where to me the front office deserves a ton of blame, though, because they banked on Carlos Estevez being ready for the season. They trusted that he would. He let them down and failed them in a massive way this year. As great as he was last year, he has failed them in 2026 and really put them in a crappy spot. But they also rolled the dice.
And last year, it paid off to roll the dice.
And then now Matt Strahm is hurt, and so the bullpen management, like, there's plenty of things to complain about when it comes to Q's handling of certain things. I don't know what the hell you expect him to do with the bullpen right now. I mean, the bullpen is a mess. How are you supposed to manage that on a nightly basis when I also tell you that they're in so many high leverage spots because this offense doesn't score enough on a consistent basis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and again, and some of it is simple as, this year and last year, I don't know how many more games they would have won in the last 2 seasons had they simply just been league average with hitting with runners in scoring position. The year they went to the playoffs, Gold, same team, same talent. And I'm not saying there's no differences. There were obviously differences. But the core starting pitching staff, the core lineup, those are pretty similar from the last 3 years, this year and the previous 2. The year they made the playoffs, what did they do? They were top 5 in all of baseball with hitting and runners in scoring position. If they could just level to league average.
They were top 5 in that, and they also had a division. As bad as the division is this year, there's no bottom feeder like the Chicago White Sox anymore.
They didn't beat up on some
you're
bad
able
teams,
to rack up, well, I don't know, what was it, Cody, 11 wins or something that year? I think it was something against the White Sox, maybe 12.
Something like that.
That doesn't exist. This division, while it's not by any means the AL East, nobody is a bottom feeder going to win 60 games type of team this year.
Where are they with batting average? What do you think they are? Batting average, runners and
Like
scoring.
just
Do you think it's dead last?
The rank in baseball with runners and score? 28th.
Not dead last. 25th.
Okay.
25th. Boston, the team who beat them last night. Cincinnati, the Angels, the White Sox, who have a winning record, mind you, and Seattle, the only teams who are hitting worse. They are currently, but I guarantee if I do OPS, it's probably dead last then. 28th, Boston and the Angels. Two teams having disappointing seasons. And so there is a part of me that does wonder, like, because I do ask myself, like, how did it get here? How are they 20 and 28? How did you allow this to happen? Now, some of it's obvious. Vinny and Salvi haven't hit, and they don't have a bullpen because Carlos Estevez wasn't available. Like, obvious things.
And then recently, in the last 2 weeks, your starting pitching has just regressed in a massive way. A lot of it due to injury, but hey, that's part of the game.
So last night, you finally get a good start. Where's the offense? Nowhere to be seen. And so, like, when the starting pitching struggled, the offense scored, but not enough. And now you finally get a good start from your starter. And what did the offense do? Nothing.
Yeah, now they're drowning. I mean, and now they're drowning. There's
I think it's
some,
probably how they feel. Or at least let's assume how they feel.
I don't know. I mean, then there's just, to me, still just the mental mistakes on the base paths, both from player and coach.
Yeah.
I mean, last night, Michael Massey, maybe didn't get a great read on the ball. Okay, that's on him. But then Vance Wilson compounds it by sending him home. Situational awareness was terrible in that spot from everybody involved. They would have had Michael Garcia coming up to the plate with one out. They're down a couple runs. Instead, you pick up the second out there. And it's a whole different scenario for you. And so that's on Vance Wilson. That's on Michael Massey as well in that spot.
Why did he send him there?
I have no clue.
Does anybody? I didn't ask. I didn't go look to see whether or not that was the case. I was just trying to figure out, is there a reason why you sent him there? It was also 0-0, and I get it. They were probably desperate for a run against Sonny Gray, who...
Yeah, sorry, it was 0-0. That's right.
It was 0. It was, yeah.
But you would have had Michael Garcia up with one out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
in that
2
spot.
on.
Yeah,
so like, that feels like... And that's one of the guys who's been coming through for you. Somebody says the Royals have become that. They're not as bad as the White Sox were.
No,
let's not get carried away. And again, that's because they have talent. And so, I don't know, man. It's a weird spot. By the way, they need... I think the last update I saw is that Cole Reagan's threw 30 or 35 pitches or something. Boy, they better hope that timeline speeds up. No Bubic, no Reagans? No wonder the bullpens or the starting rotations regress. They're down to 3 guys. They lost a different guy, and they lost Bergert to the season in the minors. Every year, man, it looks like, boy, do they have starting pitching depth, and then it gets a hatchet taken to it. Like this year's probably worse than most. I mean, it has been brutal in the injury front. Now, in fairness, if you had said, hey, did you think going into the year that Cole Reagans and Chris Bubic would pitch a whole season? I'm like, well, to this point, they haven't done that much. So, like, it's not like I can count on that necessarily. Those are 2 oft-injured pitchers being injured. That, that's not stunning news.
Yeah, that's their history,
at least on that end. And so, like, they've had a little bit of that on the other side. Baseball. I want the Royals to start a 10-game winning streak starting tonight, and then they'll be 500. No, they're 8 games Sunday. They'd be 2 games above 500. Is there any part of you, do they have enough talent for that? Or is it a grind? If just hypothetically, Alex is optimistic and they get themselves back into a playoff hunt. It's the grind way, right?
Yeah, Cody, I told you yesterday, people can point to the 2014 season and how they were able to, go on some runs. I think they won 25 of 35 at one point. I don't believe with the injuries that they have right now and everything we have seen, I don't believe they're capable of winning 25 of 35. So to answer your question, to me, it's got to be a slow build, but it's all about just getting closer to 500. And right now, what we were discussing even 2 weeks ago about, hey, they just, clean up some mistakes and runners in scoring position. Even if they do that now, the problem now is they're a much more injured team on top of it. That should not be the excuse of the 2026 season, by the way. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me in September when the team's playing better baseball in September, well, if they just didn't have all these injuries. No, that's an excuse. We all know how this team was playing before Reagans got hurt, before they had the Chris Bubic injury, right? The injuries is not why the injuries are not why the 2026 Royals season has gone the way it has gone.
It was inaccurate because they were struggling before that moment.
It can certainly cause it to get way worse, which is what it's doing.
Yeah.
But let's not let the injuries become the excuse of the 2026 season. That's not the story at all.
No, it's not. Although I do quietly wonder if we have undersold the Vinny injury as it relates to his performance. Now, again, I'm not using the injury as an excuse.
Yeah.
I'm also just stating a fact that I think he had a back issue. He wasn't playing well before. Apparently, he had the injury. He's not using it as an excuse, which is something I appreciate about Vinny. He's not saying, my back hurts,
right,
and that's why I'm not hitting. Do I think that could be impacting his performance? Yeah, probably, especially for, that's not uncommon. But you're right. It's not, the injuries will never be the story of this season because they were playing bad baseball before a single injury even hit the team. So, other than Carlos Estevez, I guess him from the beginning. But that wouldn't excuse away being 8 games under 500.
We'll get into some NBA coming up in about 10 minutes or so. History made from Victor Wembanyama. Unbelievable Western Conference final, Game 1 last night. We also got Game 2 tonight, or Game 1, I'm sorry, in the Eastern Conference tonight with the Knicks and the Cavs. Once the NBA game was over, real quickly, I got one of those alerts, the MLB app, and it's like, oh, so-and-so has a no-hitter through 8 innings. Or
and you're like, oh, okay.
So I'm like, I'm still awake. I'll flip over to the MLB app, and I did, and it was the A's and the Angels, okay? And it was a pitcher, I'll be honest, I had never heard of until last night.
What's his name?
JT Ginn. Okay? Have you ever heard of him?
No.
Okay. So he had a no-no going into the 9th inning. And by the way, we still have not had a no-hitter since the 2024 season. So I'm like, I want to watch a no-hitter. Haven't seen one in a while. It's history. I always like popping over to a game if somebody's got a no-hitter. So this had to have been the most gut-punching way to lose a no-hitter. So he gets to the 9th inning. The game was actually tied 0-0. And then the A's get the lead in the top half of the inning. Okay? Or in the top half of the inning. And then ultimately, it's the Angels hitting a walk-off home run after they already give up the hit. So the no-no goes away, Cody, from JT Ginn. He gives up a hit. Okay, loses the no-no, but you have a chance to still win the game.
Happens all the time.
Then he gives up a walk-off home run.
Oh.
To center field. Going back is Henry Bolte. At the track, leaping up. And a home run for Zach Neto. A 2-1 walk-off win.
You go in as a teammate of...
That was the A's broadcast, I'm assuming?
That was the A's broadcast.
So you had a no-hitter. You give up one hit.
No-hitter going in the top of the 9th. Your team scores a run in the top of the 9th.
So you're finally up 1-0.
You're up 1-0. Then you go out in the bottom of the 9th.
You give up a bloop and a blast,
you give up a hit and a walk-off home run after that.
I'd retire. That's it.
How disgusting. We'll never talk about this guy again, probably.
Poor JT Ginn. He started 8 games this year. It looks like he's got a sub-3 ERA.
Is that right?
But that's so, you know how it is. Baseball's so regional, dude. You could say, have you heard of this guy in the Mets and 80% of them? Nah, I don't know.
The A's have had 14 it would have been the 14th. I'm sorry. The A's have had 13 no-hitters. That would have been the 14th.
Jeez, the Royals haven't had a no-hitter since the 90s.
Yeah.
Probably not getting one this year. Be cool, though. Maybe that would be the boom they needed. Not happening tonight. I don't think Bailey Falter and crew are going to get that thing done. But at the same time, it's like that. Oh, man, I don't know if there's a more devastating way to lose a no-hitter. Losing no-hitters and losing a game, that's happened. For your team to give you the lead, you give up a single. But here's the thing. Normally when a guy gives up the single with the no-hitter, they just pull him and get in the closer.
They didn't.
Why the hell did they let the guy stay in?
Yeah, I don't know what his pitch count was, in fairness. I don't know what his pitch count was. He was cruising. That's a good question. There was nobody.
Well, I can tell you his pitch count because he lost the game when he gave up that home run. So not hard to figure out his pitch count. Whatever his pitch count was.
Well, no, I'm just saying I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
I know how to find the pitch count, Cody. I'm just saying I don't know the pitch count. I know how to find it. I'm just saying I don't know what it. I mean, I don't know what his pitch count was. Is all I'm saying. So you're asking why they kept him in. I go, I don't know. Was he at 80 pitches? Was he at 98? I have no idea.
Let's see if his game log's up on Baseball Reference yet. Sometimes it's a day later. No, it's up.
What was he at?
He
struck out 10.
He threw 105 pitches. So even if we assume the final
would have been
guy, even if we assume he had like a 7-pitch at bat, 98, that's enough to get the closer in.
Yeah.
I would think that guy's in the pin.
But he struck out 10, 1 walk. He was just dominant. They probably wanted him to have a chance at least to get the complete game. And it backfired on him, yeah.
Oh,
he went off the rails.
3 outs. That's why I'm saying he could have thrown
the
bullpen guy. He still needed 3 outs.
True.
Guy didn't get an out in the 9th.
That's fair.
He gave up a hit and then a homer, and then the game was over.
But as an if the Royals were in that same spot, you would have wanted them to keep the pitcher out there.
I don't know. Right now, the Royals just need wins, man. If you're telling me that, I guess in this case, Urseg's up in the pen. Cole Reagans goes 8 innings. He's got 10 strikeouts. He gives up a single. When the single happens, closer time. We're trying to get 3 outs, even if they've been dominant.
Someone
It's the same thing.
Someone says they wouldn't even let him get an opportunity to go for the no-no in the ninth. They would have pulled him before.
That pretty famously happened to the Rays in a World Series game.
Well, yes.
That they inevitably lost. And I'll never.
That was Blake Snell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one will.
Kevin Cash or whatever.
That'll never make any sense to me.
He threw 6 pitches in the ninth, by the way.
Oof. So he's at 99 pitches going in?
I
You didn't have the closer up?
I don't have an issue with leaving him. I think they were going to give him one more batter. Probably was his last batter, no matter what. Is probably what happened, honestly. If he would,
It was his last batter.
I think their plan was it was his last batter. It was his plan too, I guess, as well.
Damn. Sorry, JT Jen. That stinks. Also, you go to the clubhouse that day and you remember the offense. You screwed your guy.
They did.
They
definitely
over.
did. Yeah, it was 0-0 heading into the top of the ninth inning. You guys got 1 run for me. I had a no-no going. Come on.
Thanks for nothing.
By the way, that I will say, with you mentioned how long it's been since the Royals had a no-hitter, and then also just the way this season has gone. That would have been, the icing on the cake of the 2026 Kansas City Royals. If that would have happened to them, because that would have been something that you finally think you're about to have a no-no for the first time since the 90s, and then
we'd have to have a funeral.
Oh man!
If that had happened last night to the Royals, we'd have come in today and been like, "That's it." Do you guys want to talk about the 2027 Royals, or do you want us to just talk about anything else for the summer? Because that's a wrap. Like, that's how I would have felt if they had done that. That would have been a absolute back-breaking way to lose a game. And they've lost a couple of heartbreakers this year.
All right, up next, we'll get to the random question of the day and a classic for us last night with Wimby and company.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
At Low T Center, all providers are board certified and experts in their field. That's because they know the right questions to ask you, the right things to look for in your charts, and the right tests to run to keep your TRT smooth and manage the side effects to make sure that you are getting each personalized patient treatment to make sure that you're not just one of a group, but one of an individual. That's because they do personalized TRT plans that's individualized to you. And at Low T Center, you can book a free testosterone test and see if you qualify for TRT customized to your body with their expert providers. They'll be honest with you. They got the expertise to find out if you need it. And a lot of that comes down to how are you feeling? You know the answer. Do you feel like you have less energy? Do you feel like you have less sex drive? Your workouts aren't the same. All of those things can be signs of low testosterone. You got to trust yourself and how you feel. And at Low T Center, you go in for a 20-minute test. Then you get to choose between at-home treatment like Sotella Health, or you can use their app, or you can go into the facility if that's what you would prefer. And Low T Center's got the highest quality testosterone, and their providers tailor it to work for you. So if you'd like, head to lowtcenter.com and book a free testosterone test today so you can find out if those things you're feeling are something that needs to be treated. That's a free testosterone test at lowtcenter.com. That's lowtcenter.com.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Rex here with Rex Buys KC. I get it. Selling your house can sometimes feel overwhelming or scary, right? I've seen it too many times. A homeowner thought they had a deal, only to have the buyer back out at the last minute. That's not how we do business at Rex Buys KC. I'm local, I know Kansas City, and I make sure every deal actually closes like it's supposed to. No hidden fees, no showings, no last-minute surprises, just a fair cash offer and a process you can count on. We buy homes in any condition and judgment-free. So whether your house needs repairs or you just want a fast, hassle-free sale, we can make it happen. If you want certainty, transparency, and someone local who actually delivers, call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time. 816-330-6000 or rexbuyskc.com.
Rob Sight Ford, your 2025 Ford volume leader. Top rated on Google with 4.8 stars and 3,000 plus reviews. The best selection, best prices, and Kansas City's best customer service. Visit Rob Sight Ford at 135th and State Line. Buy right, save big, and drive home a winner. Only at Rob Sight Ford.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent medium fountain and new Frostbite by Casey's drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, dig between your couch cushions, ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. 89-cent medium Frostbite by Casey's or fountain drinks at Casey's all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I've finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so. It's Cody and Gold. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. Kind of a gloomy fall-like day, I guess, outside. We had all the severe weather last night. Hope everybody doing all right from that. The wind was pretty crazy. That was all we got. We got usually you get the severe thunderstorm alert. Okay, whatever. But we got it had the destructive wind tag or whatever on it, which my phone, I mean, you would have thought the way the phone blew up and the way the alert, you would have thought we had a missile strike about to come into Kansas City. I mean, it's a critical alert. Destructive winds, property damage on the way. It's like, okay.
You should have seen me watching that game last night, man. The storm in.
Oh, you were watching on 41? Yeah.
Well, what choice did I? I was like
Peacock?
this.
You could have watched the NBA game on Peacock instead of doing the box screen.
I don't have Peacock.
Do you have YouTube
NBC
TV?
Sports?
What's that?
Do you have YouTube TV?
Wait, was it on there?
NBC Sports.
NBC Sports Network that has a channel.
They do the
Why didn't you say that in the text last night?
They do the simulcast. Well, you didn't tell us until late, and then I said, "Oh, you can watch it on Peacock."
I did just what
you guys suck, and I want that known. You could have helped me out last night. I'm watching that thing like an insane person. I was like this.
Yeah, talking about the Western
Trying
Conference.
to watch Wemby drop 40 like through squinted eyes.
Yeah,
It was worse than I'm like,
hungry now behind the plate. 5 on 4. Wemby's going to pull a deep 3. Oh my goodness. A logo shot. 28-footer. Ties it at 108.
That was on NBC last night. That was Mike Tirico, of course, and Reggie Miller. Victor Wembanyama was absolutely absurd.
As advertised.
Proving, if anybody was still doubting, he's the best player on earth. 7'5", and just, drills a 30-footer. No big deal.
The real MVP.
He also dribbled from the top of the key in the overtime and flushed it. He was like 4 feet back from the arc and took 2 dribbles and slammed it home on him. He abused Chet in that game and every other defender.
It was, I don't want to be prisoner of the moment, as I said earlier, but that was one of the best NBA games I have watched in a very long time. Yeah. It was a classic game, and I don't know what the next 6 games, if we get 6 games, by the way, are going to be like in that series. But we discussed yesterday the rivalry and that did everything you could have possibly. If you were with us, where we also said, hey, we want this to become kind of the rivalry for years to come. Well, last night, you couldn't have asked for anything better to make it that.
Because the truth is, the Thunder still have the better roster, and because of all the picks and a million other things, they are positioned to stay in this position for a while. But the Spurs have a generational talent. It literally did not matter which NBA team got him, Drew. They're a finals contender the second he's on their roster. It ended up being the Spurs. It could have been anybody.
It makes it perfect that
it could have been the Washington Wizards. It could have been the worst run franchise on the planet. They would be an instant contender because of how good Wemby is. I will say. And it's just like the thing that it's why I want the NBA, but it's also why these sports, I think, make a massive mistake in not reducing the number of games in their schedule. Because the NBA playoffs like if you watch the NBA playoffs and then you watch the regular season game, you're like, am I even watching the same sport? Why does everyone try now? I have to watch a lot of NBA regular season games where they're just like, yeah, go pass. It's fine. I don't care. Like, and I'm not saying like there's no defense. They're all good shooters, but like this, like pacing themselves for 82 games. Like Vinny doesn't take most baseball players, even 162 games. They don't like play different game 37 to wild card game. For the most part, those games they play like a regular baseball game. They don't play different. NBA basketball games play different in the playoffs. They played a whole different level of intensity, a whole different level. And I guess the part of this is like Wemby's 22. How long is he going to dominate the NBA? A decade? 15 years?
Yeah, that's where we're
at. If he stays healthy, Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be the best player in the league for a very long time. It was sensational last night. And Drew, you mentioned the Chet Holmgren stuff or whatever. That's going to be fun to watch the next, again, I keep saying 6 games. I don't know. I feel like we're at least getting 6 games total, so 5 more. We'll see if we end up getting a full 7-game series. But look, we also know that was not only was it just a great game, but for this particular series, the fact the Thunder lost one at home right away that's a huge deal. I haven't looked at the updated series.
It's the first loss they've had this entire postseason.
They haven't been tested either. They've had a cakewalk. Yeah. They've had a cakewalk to this
similar
point.
to last year.
True.
They had a cakewalk until they got to the finals and lost in game 1.
The Thunder are 6.5-point favorites tomorrow night. That was what they were last night, in fairness. But the same spread, exact same spread. And then tonight, I don't think people will be as interested in this one because we don't have the Wemby angle and the defending champs. But Knicks, Cavs tonight, Eastern Conference Final. Are you watching that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a good overall NBA playoffs. There's certainly been some blowout series. I'm not trying to deny that. Knicks haven't played a close game. Thunder hadn't played a close game. But that appears to be an even-ish series on paper, knowing that the Cavs got the Pistons anyway. Obviously, the Knicks are pretty decent favorites, but I'll be tuned in.
That building is just going to be insane tonight. That's what I'm
it's going to be a letdown based off last night's game, almost automatically.
The overall game, there's no way. There's no way it's going to be anywhere near the type of game. But the atmosphere early could be good. I could see it getting also just more of a wider margin and uglier game in favor of the Knicks tonight. And the ticket prices we were looking earlier, $615 or something like that, $612. The lowest price to go to the Garden tonight.
By the way, and last night, it'd be awesome to go, I'm sure. But yeah, the ticket prices are crazy. Who was the bigger problem last night, by the way, for you guys? Was it SGA's game or Chet?
Well,
Chet's out here getting just like little brother.
I put it on the MVP.
Bad.
I put it on the MVP more. Bad. I understand Chet, but you're also, we just said the best player in the world. There's also, he needs to be better, but also what do you expect? SGA is the MVP. He had a bad game.
For the series, Cody, or are you talking like the individual game last night?
Individual game.
Individual game is for sure SGA. But
Chet stunk though.
But if this is he was so bad, he was guarding Justin Champagny on the outside instead of Chet. It was Caruso. Caruso
played awesome last night.
He had
blew it too.
That's why I would be frustrated if you can be encouraged because Shea didn't play that well. Chet obviously didn't play good, and you still almost won the game. But also, Alex Caruso gave you the game of his life essentially. And you didn't win the game, so it feels like a missed opportunity for them for sure.
It's pretty embarrassing for Chet Holmgren, who's a 7 footer.
It's very embarrassing for
to
him.
have Alex Caruso give up a foot to Wemby and give up more of a fight on occasion.
He is
He put up more of a fight.
He is noticeably different when he plays against Victor Wembanyama. Like he plays like he's scared of him. And Wemby plays
scared of him, in fairness, so that makes sense.
And Wemby plays like he hates Chet Holmgren, which I mean he dunked on him twice last night. There's a level of like watching Wemby play where you're like, this dude is the most talented player I've ever seen play. Like he might not be the GOAT in the end, or he might not be in that conversation, but in terms of talent, he's 7'5", can handle, can shoot jumpers like Steph does. He can back you down. He can play great defense. Like he does literally everything you could ask out of a player to do, and he does it at basically in an elite level, essentially.
Yeah, he's a true generational talent, and now hopefully more and more people are watching him. This is what he did all year.
First player
this is what he did in the regular season. Of course, the stakes are higher now, so it's all magnified.
It's kind of crazy that I could play, like, Wemby and I played a game of basketball 1 to 100.
You would not score.
I wouldn't score a single bucket.
No.
Drew, I'd lose 100 to 0.
Exactly.
It's like, if he tried. If he just like let me take one jump shot, I could get a point. But if he like actively tried to defend me, I wouldn't get a single. Honest to God, I'm not sure I'd touch rim.
In fairness, I don't think you'd score on Chet Holmgren either.
No, but I got a better chance than Wemby.
I think that's the best. I
got a 0.00001% chance against Wemby or against Chet. I got nothing against Wemby.
I think that's the best part about Victor Wembanyama too. That I think is going to help people embrace a little bit more of the NBA, even during like the regular season. Like he's 100% passionate about the game and wanting to win every single possession. Like people were joking about him crying after they came back, and I forget who it was when they were down like 20 points in the second half and came back to win, and he was super emotional after, and people were like making fun of him. And it's like, dude, it was refreshing to see somebody who legitimately cares about every single game and wants to win as badly as he seems to want to win. I think a lot of people are rooting for him, not just because of the matchup against the Thunder and Shea and all the reasons for that, but also just because they want, like, you can appreciate him in real time. And I think the fact that he loves the game as much as it seems like he does and he cares as much as he does is very refreshing and fun
passionate's
to
good.
watch.
Passionate
is good.
Passionate's good. I always just worry, like, like when you're that big, it's just like the fear is how many years,
The fact that he's slender, I think, actually helps him.
How many years? And I maybe
compared to Joel Embiid, who carries 300 pounds and he's hurt all the time.
But Kevin Durant's slender, and that man got hurt plenty too.
Yeah, but KD's played almost. KD's pushing like
he is
20 years now. I think that's the. Of course, Wemby's
a foot taller than Kevin Durant. Like, I mean, that, like,
he's about Durant's 6'11", and he's played for 8
years. And people say that Wemby's not actually 7'4", and that he's 7'5". He's like underselling his height.
Yeah, he might actually be 7'6".
He's like still growing.
Yeah. He
8 foot tall by the time he's finished playing in the league.
He's pushing Manute Bol size.
Yeah, Drew, you're right. He is, but I will point out, he has played for 20 years. But the second that Kevin Durant got to like 27, 28, he was never the same health ever again. He played, but it was a lot of partial seasons. Some full seasons, a lot of partial seasons, a lot of time missed. It's all over the place. You're just not quite the same when you're playing at that kind of body size. Look, we wanted this to be the next great NBA rivalry. If this thing goes 7 games, hell of a start to it.
I still think it's already a rivalry, but
performance.
Yes, even
I think
more
last night. I think last night.
Buoys
cemented that.
Yeah.
I mean,
the fact that they did it in a playoff series, it makes a lot of people say, okay, now it's official. But I mean, this level of hatred's already been there.
And we don't think the Thunder's getting swept in this thing.
No,
so
no, it wouldn't surprise me if that all. If they win comfortably tomorrow night.
Probably not. The way that Mitch Johnson has it, the way that they showed Sean Sweeney last night, because he's the defensive guy. The way that they do their coverages, though, on Shea, they make it super uncomfortable for him, and they do a good job of not letting him get to the positions where Shea is going to take advantage of you and draw fouls.
Yeah. The way we're talking about this, go ahead. We'll get to the random question. I'll get to that later.
Random question.
Not important. Somebody can discuss later. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 586-7965. And, of course, over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Continue to tell you can like and subscribe over on YouTube or Twitch. Pop to the top of your feed. Never miss any part of the show. Now in stunning 4K. We'll only say that for a little bit longer. We're not going to be the station to be like, new for a year or whatever. The new. No, it's
in fairness,
at least for now.
We might have to get the Chiefs Road half-hour change because it still says new home for the Chiefs, 96.5 The Fan. We've been...
we should
I don't know if
probably...
you guys heard that. I've thought about that multiple times here the last 2 weeks.
Somehow have not noticed that. But yeah, Drew, let's maybe we'll tighten up ship on that one and then work towards that. But the random question today I have for you is whether or not this is even a general problem for you or this would stop you from using it. It was announced Sunday, I believe, that Twitter, the free users and the people who don't subscribe for it, X, whatever you want to call it, now have a daily limit for non-subscribers of 50 posts, including total tweets, reposts, quote posts, replies. You can have up to 200. And I guess the question I have for you is, one, is this limit in any real way a hindrance to you at any stage, even like Chiefs game days where maybe you and I might post more? And if so, is this enough for you to either buy the service or stop using the service more?
So the only time I could see I'm ever reaching that limit is on a Chiefs game day. And if that's the case, then I guess so be it. I mean, at 50, you don't need to tweet 50 times during a Chiefs game anyway. So I don't think it's
nobody wants 50.
I don't think it's going to be a problem at all. The only people this is for are probably people already that have the pro account or premium account, like Adam Schefter, who might send out 100 tweets a day or something.
Yeah, but he's already paying for it.
That's what I'm saying, and he already has it. So no, I don't think for most people this matters at all. It really should be like 200 replies. I don't know if I reply 200 things a month.
Oh, no way.
You know what I mean?
Just
let alone a day.
Absolutely.
I don't reply. I probably haven't replied 200 times in 2 months to a tweet.
So here I guess would be the concern is if this is an app that you like to use, is that's the limit now. That's going to get halved somewhere along the way. Just accept the reality that it'll be down to
what's the cost, by the way?
25 posts. I don't know.
We're talking $5 a month, $10 a month.
I'll be honest with you.
99 cents.
I use Twitter. I like it
to
for
get
sports.
verified. I think it's like $10 a month.
Okay.
I like Twitter. I think it is still like one of the better apps for live sports.
Sure.
Right. I use Blue Sky too, and the others
Do they have a limit or anything there?
No, they don't have any limits there. And so I like it for those reasons. I like it for like the live interaction sport. I would soon delete the app from my phone, delete my account entirely before I'll pay. I will not pay for it. I'm not paying for Instagram Premium
you don't have to,
or Facebook or any of those. So like, I'll delete my account before I spend a single cent trying to be like, well, you better get those posts under 50. 50? You could say it's 50 a month and I wouldn't.
The only way I would ever
I'll
pay...
figure out a way to be 1.5 posts a day.
Yeah. If it was something where you could only make one post a day and it was 99 cents to bump it up, I think I would pay the 99 cents. But like,
there's a number for
there's definitely some scenario. But right now, there's no need. There's no need to pay the $8 a month.
The cheapest, basic starts at $3 a month or $32 a year. But I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't get you that. I don't know what that buys you because it didn't say anything. Premium starts at $8.
Yeah, Instagram just came out with some new stuff. I think I saw last week too. They're now again. You don't have to do any of this stuff. It's not like it's required. Instagram. What do they call theirs? Is it Plus or something? Yeah, they just came out with a new one. What was it? Because I got some email about it.
But yeah, I just
theirs.
They got a premium one too.
I think theirs is like $3.99 or something. I saw some.
That's where they all
they're
go.
testing. Yeah, I guess they were testing it.
Look, some of this is tough because like people have said like, hey, you guys are essentially content creators, so like it's just. It's like I do some of that certainly as a part of this show. I've also personally reduced my social media usage pretty significantly. So like, I don't know. I just like, I just don't feel the need to post as much as I used to, or I just post less than I used to. Like maybe that just comes with time or you just feel like you've posted enough. So I don't know, but I post less than I used to.
It's per month, right? Like 50 or no, per day.
Per day.
Per day.
Yeah,
like I guess who is like
50 a day is
who's
insane.
using the app? Because, like, this seems like it would be a way of preventing, like, it generally might be a good thing, as in the people who are just farming for engagement, posting a million things, but also don't want to pay for the service. They're like, no, you're going to pay us if you're just engagement farming for
is that actually the goal? Is that actually the goal of it? Is that kind of why this is being implemented?
That's just a guess. I don't know, actually.
I think that's for engagement.
Do you think you've ever posted 50 times in a single day?
I
might
have.
Super Bowl. I'm guessing I gotten close on that. I'll bet on a Chiefs game day, I've probably flirted with that in the early days of getting on social.
So when is Twitter implementing this? What was the question was we're using it, but when did they say they're doing it?
Let's see. Twitter, I forgot to see when they were implementing it. Let's
Or is
see.
it active already?
I think it's active already.
Okay.
The previous was 2,400 posts per day limit. Whoever got to that?
Jeez.
What monster got to 2,400 posts a day? That would be insane. It just said 50 original posts and 200 replies per day for unverified accounts. Fine. Fine.
More than enough.
I'm not like, I guess part of it is like I saw people freaking out about it. I'm like, are you guys getting to that number?
Someone's very upset with you on the text line.
Why?
Stop talking about your social media.
That's a funny reply, though.
That's the whole point of the question.
I know it is, but
what do you mean?
It's a random question of the day.
Gold.
Let's see.
Say
Has
the
he
last
made
part
that
of
for all
the
of us, or did
ago.
it say Cody stop talking?
It says, girls, stop talking about your
girls.
social
So is
media.
everybody.
Say the whole response, Gold.
His response?
No, your response.
Oh, I said it's the random question, bud. And he says...
You hit him with a bud? The old Nick Schwartz?
And he
Bud's
says,
no
and
good.
it randomly sucks.
Look, you can agree or disagree that the random question today stinks or not. That's fine. That's always up for debate on this show. You know, that's always
Holy
up for debate.
smokes,
Is
man.
Twitter still the social media you use the most?
Probably. I use Instagram way more now than I ever have. Yeah,
Dude,
I've definitely posted more on Instagram in the last, call it 3 months
Do
or
you
whatever.
scroll Instagram?
I wouldn't call it scroll. I'm just on it.
Twitter's
right? I'll
still
post stuff.
is still the information thing. It is still, if you want information, it feels like Twitter is the first place that you can go to get, is where information goes out the fastest. It still feels
for sports and news, it is.
Yeah,
It usually the breaking news stuff. You can
just
catch it
in
there.
general.
It's usually quicker there.
Yeah, if something happens, it feels like it breaks on Twitter faster than it would on Instagram ever, or on Facebook,
right,
or on just regular news
I pay
itself.
more attention to all of them, way more when we're in the show, because like something might come up that we want to discuss. Like like this morning, I saw that Jackson Smith and Jigba's trophy said Defensive Player of the Year instead of Offensive Player of the Year. They had his position wrong. Like, we might bring that up in a course of a show. So, like, I pay attention to those things, or I get on the accounts when I'm, like, looking for interesting things people are talking about that we might want to discuss. Someone on the text line is determined to make me read. It's the same person who sends it. Cody's on there, so there's less tweets to steal. Can't steal Dusty's tweets.
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever I've been accused of.
I think Dusty would appreciate that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got to stop stealing these tweets
Not
out there.
stealing
You know?
anybody's tweets.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is that you guys, I think you say them at very similar times as well. Like, but it just so happens the timing is you're always a little bit later than Dusty is to say something. Even though you've never seen the tweet before. You're just saying your opinion, but it's the exact same opinion.
I don't. We're talking
You
about
and
two
Dusty think
examples in
very
the history
alike.
of 6 years of social media. I can assure you I've never intentionally stolen Dusty's tweet.
What you should do now, did Dusty post that burn on Instagram? You should get sunburn on purpose, Cody. And then post the same picture.
Post the same picture.
As Dusty.
At one point when he had accused me like twice in 2 weeks, I thought about just making my entire account rephrasing every Dusty
Man,
tweet.
there would be...
Because that would have been funny.
It would be
But also,
funny.
I didn't have that kind of energy. That's just too much work. I'd have to put like alerts on his account.
It wouldn't be a full... You'd have to do it for like... You'd have to do it for like a week and then be done with it. And just...
Kiss my ass. I'm too lazy for that. I'm not doing all that.
Men's wieners.
How many times do you think you posted last month? Do you think it's like 100 times last month?
Me?
Including
on
retweets?
Twitter?
Including retweets.
I don't know.
it probably. Is.
Yeah, probably so.
Like the gold last night you probably posted, I don't know.
What I did?
20 times maybe
No,
yesterday.
I didn't. No way.
Cody, you're part of your...
In the last 24 hours, you've probably because it counts retweets, I would guess you posted 20 times. But that's way below 50.
Yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Including retweets?
11, including retweets.
Okay.
How Cody should have responded to that person who texted him about the random question.
Hey, dumbass. I don't have any beef with that guy.
Sounds like you do, though.
He called out your random question.
Yeah.
I feel like
I said that's up for grabs.
Sucks.
You know what I take offense to? You know, genuinely? The misogyny. Because we're talking about social media, we got to be girls. Hey, girls, you like your nails painted, ladies? That's what I take offense to.
There's a new drop.
The blatant misogyny is the problem I take offense to. It's unnecessary.
Oh, there we go.
I like being spanked.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, that kind of stuff. Oh, man. See, the Royals are making us talk about stuff we wouldn't normally talk about. I need them to get back to the winning ways. Are either of you guys going to the game tonight?
Not tonight. I'm going tomorrow night, I think.
Oh, so you're going tomorrow?
I think I'm going tomorrow night.
What's your record with you in attendance?
Below 500.
Oof.
I think
Dang,
I'm
like 2-2.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm 3-3 or 3-4, something like that. Yeah, maybe I'm right at 500.
Okay.
I think I've been to 6 games this year.
By the way, most people, like, over on Twitch and Twitter and stuff, they're like, none of us are using 50 a day. 50 is crazy. That's just a big number. Somebody says on Reddit they might be guilty of that. But I don't live. Does anybody do live chat on Reddit?
50 posts on Reddit? Or
well,
50?
like replies, right? I mean, you know, like when you think about like going back and forth with somebody.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I imagine like the reply, like if you included replies on Twitch or whatever, a big group of people are on YouTube. There's like regular people who interact with there all the time, right?
For sure.
Like, you know, like you might get into a comment section a little bit, but I don't usually go back and forth like that on social either.
All right, coming up next, we get right back into the Royals. What Vern said about this season, that stood out quite a bit based on his years covering the Royals. And is it going to be as bad as we all think with a 2014 playoff?
You like your nails painted, ladies?
What's up, Kansas City? This is Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
For our friends over at Centric, they have been a trusted tech training and solutions partner here in Kansas City for more than 30 years. And all they've helped, thousands of people start new careers in as little as 4 months.
It's really important that you get that career and work with the people who work with local employers. That's what they do over at Centric. They work with local employers to help you find that next career, whether it be the ad you've heard on the station, right? About their, like Ben, who works with them finding the career stuff or helps them find new IT fields or become service desk managers. The stuff that grows. I think the thing about career Gold that's important is it grows. You can start somewhere and actually take the career somewhere rather than be stuck in some dead-end job.
Yeah, their curriculum is going to be built around the job you're trying to actually get, right? So you're going to actually learn the skills that the real companies out there are going to use, not just general, theory or education. And they have helped connect graduates to IT job opportunities through their network of more than 1,700 employer partners. Talk to our friend Russ Mondry. Go to centric.com. That's CENTRIQ.com.
Is your garage door too loud and whining for help? Overhead Door Company of Kansas City will make it all better. They will perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Call Overhead Door Company of Kansas City at 816-221-0072 or schedule online at overheaddoorkc.com.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
We all have that one painting project we've been putting off. For me, it was the exterior. I finally called CertaPro Painters, and you know what? I wish I'd done it sooner. They provide a free estimate quickly and at the right price. And what I loved most was the communication. I never had to wonder what was next because they provided reliable daily updates. They treat your home with respect, like it deserves. So schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number,
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Like our original gold-rimmed Bluebell homemade vanilla, the country's gold standard of ice cream flavors since 1969. Its hand-cranked taste takes you back to simpler times. That's why we put the word home right on the carton.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Hen House markets and select Sun Fresh locations.
For all the things you have to do and places you need to be, let Uber take you there. Because you had just one more 3 rounds ago. Because the 5 a.m. flight seemed like a good idea at the time. Because check engine lights always appear at the worst possible times. And because parking downtown is a nightmare. Because there are nights out, airport trips, and car troubles in your area, there are drivers in your area. Uber. Request a ride today. Wait time varies. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
I keep seeing celebrities posts, me in the 90s versus now. Well, the person staring at me in the mirror is definitely not the same person that could pull off bootcut jeans. Time creeps up on us so slowly. You don't see it until suddenly you do. Same thing goes for your bills. $1 here, an uptick there. It's a slow burn until one day you realize the price you're paying now is way higher than when you signed up. But at T-Mobile, customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their experience plans, you get a 5-year price guarantee, so you know exactly what your plan price will be for the next 5 years. So at least that's one thing that won't change over time. I can't guarantee you'll still look good with frosted tips, but T-Mobile can give you a clear guarantee on your wireless plan.
Lower bills based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 21 to Q4 25 compared to average AT&T and Verizon bills. Comparison excludes discounts, credits, and optional charges. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful. Can we stop at a bathroom? Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows, shorts, and clips. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. I have so we've talked about Carrington's habit in studio. My bad habit is interacting with his bad habit, and this is not something I want to.
Okay, what happened?
So he leaves his chewed up pens in here. Okay,
I was gonna ask if it was the pens.
Yeah,
there's pile of notebooks.
Okay, so we've talked about this for years now. Okay, he leaves his chewed up pens. For whatever reason, I have a bad habit. Like
picking it up
mid segment, I'll reach over to the pen, and I realize, of course, again they're all chewed up, and there's just a pile of 3 of them. So it's
two more behind.
It's his fault,
5.
okay? But I have a bad habit. If there's a pen sitting there, I will pick up a pen in the middle of the segment and I will hold it. And it turns out there's 3 of them next to me, and of course they're all chewed up and they're left here for weeks. Again, Carrington Harrison is who started COVID, and ultimately it's the same pile of stuff that's been here.
Let's see if I can. Let's show.
Oh, we can show people.
Here, I can show you around, Alex. Yeah.
Mine
here's mine. Look. There's all this.
Cody's got the camera tilted over there. Yeah. The camera did not follow me for whatever reason. I don't know why. But anyway.
And then, you've got like a big gross pile of pens over there as well.
It's not mine.
You got to stop touching those.
I know.
You're going to get a disease or something.
I think so.
I don't know. Like, that's a risk I'm not sure you want to take over there.
The problem is I could throw away his chewed up pens and they'll just be new ones tomorrow.
Why doesn't he throw them away? This feels like a really small. This feels like. Sometimes the studio feels a little bit like dorm living where you're like, hey, a roommate of mine who I've known for all of 2 weeks, I'm not asking the world, but do you mind flushing when you're done using the restroom or putting your trash into a trash can? It doesn't feel like a big ask, but if you wouldn't mind throwing away your gnawed up pens or at least putting them in a cup or something, that'd be great.
Someone said CDOT needs some like tobacco to chew on instead of the pen.
And dip like me?
Yeah.
I
would not.
We don't need him to start getting
recommending
addicted to nicotine or whatever. Yeah, I don't think that.
The problem is that he'd leave the dip bottle in there.
He would. That's
Based on
true.
I don't need that. I don't need.
Yeah, it would just be spit. There'd just be spit sitting there.
Just leave a spit cup next to the keyboard.
It's a problem. This has been going on for years. It's never going to change, unfortunately.
No. I've tried to publicly shame him a number of times. It does not work.
He doesn't care.
Carrington, actually, I'll give him. I don't know if he deserves credit. Carrington cannot, as far as I can tell, be publicly shamed.
He will not take any hazing.
I have actively tried. Like sometimes you can shame someone into corrective behavior in a variety of ways. I've tried with Carrington.
The whole kiss cam incident, even still, he was like,
essentially just like, and I do it again. You're like, what? How did I not? What? How's that the answer? Can't do it, man. Doesn't work.
All right, we've got some breaking news though. On a serious note, this is from Matt Foster and 41, Channel 41. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice violated his probation after testing positive for marijuana. He's been ordered to serve 30 days in jail, meaning he will miss Chiefs OTAs and mandatory minicamp. 41 working to learn more. There's a copy of the trial docket from Dallas County, Texas. May 19th, defendant tested positive for THC. Defendant placed in custody. Defendant ordered to serve 30 days in jail. Previously ordered on July 17th, 2025. He will be released from custody on June 16th, 2026. So that's next month.
So he's serving it right now.
All right, so
I get it. It's marijuana, but also you can't violate your freaking probation. You got to be clean moving forward in a contract year. No issues whatsoever. This is not about that. Nobody is suggesting that marijuana that's a whole different conversation. It is the fact that you're on probation, and yet again you made a mistake and continue to make mistakes.
Andy Reid was on The Drive just last week.
Yep,
and he was talking about. He got asked about him. And essentially, you just got asked, hey, does Rice know he needs to just stay out of trouble? And this was Andy's response.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do too much talk on that. I mean, he knows. Nobody knows better than the player in those situations. And so it's important, though, that he just keeps showing up and doing his thing. And so he's been doing that. He's been here the whole offseason. And he's a great player. It's just a matter of making sure everything's taken care of and he can keep himself on the field.
And now, look, in fairness, it's not a game yet, but he is going to have to go to jail for violating his probation. This is a knucklehead.
This is the same decision-making stuff, and someone got very upset with me 2 weeks ago when we were talking about it, and I said, look, when we talk about the contract year, like I think he's going to have a great season from a production standpoint, but I am not paying him. I don't trust him. And someone got very upset. Yeah. Like, you don't trust him, and someone tried to turn it into a racial thing. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. Here's another example. The dude does not make good decisions. He's got an unbelievable opportunity still in front of him, despite all the missteps he has taken. He's got a great opportunity still to go and cash in and make a huge chunk of money. And believe it or not, put everything behind him. He can still do that, but he can't get out of his damn way. And so I don't trust him whatsoever. This is another example of why he can go out and have a great year. I think he's going to. I think he's going to earn himself a lot of money. Let it be somewhere else after this season. My goodness, man. Come on.
It's just, look, a lot of this it's the same stuff. Like you said, it's not he smokes some weed.
Right.
That's not
correct.
That's not the issue we have here. This is not like, it's not the same as his speeding or the other trouble he's been in. It's not a serious, but like, you are on probation. You will be drug tested as a part of that probation. And now as a result of you being unable to do that, you have been ordered to serve 30 days in jail and will now miss valuable practice time with your team in OTAs and mandatory minicamp. Guess what else you can't do in jail? Work out the way you would need to. You have set your off season behind because you can't stay out of trouble. This is yet another thing you're getting in trouble. And look, here's the thing. Sadly, because of the way their wide receiver unit is set up and because they didn't get to spend the 9th or 6th or whatever overall pick, they actually need Rashee Rice. They can't even just like burn the bridge and say, get the hell out. They actually need him as a part of the team and have to probably.
He's going to play this year.
Yeah,
of course he's going to play.
And he'll probably play well, but you can never pay him. Ever pay him. I would never do it.
I don't think you can trust him. Yeah, I mean, from a football end, I think he's a hell of a football player. That's why he's been given all these chances, and it's why I think he's going to have a great year. But he's an idiot. He's a complete idiot.
Yeah.
That's overall, your actions continue to show that's who you are, man. Come on.
So someone mentions the league is going to suspend him and stuff. Was Josh Gordon suspended?
He was when the league was still illegal in the league.
Oh, so okay,
different.
That was the difference. Okay.
He technically hasn't. Like, this shouldn't most likely get him suspended by the NFL at all, right? It's not they're not going to violate the personal conduct policy because you smoked weed or hell, even in this case, probably broke probation in a minor way, right?
It ultimately probably is going to have no bearing on this season. It is though the decision-making. What's to say in October? Nothing else does it. Like, it is more than fair to wonder if not he can make it through a full season without making another dumbass decision.
Yeah, genuinely, if you say over, under, Rice, 16.5 games this year, under 12.5, under, he'll get in trouble sometime before then. Because now he has to stay out of trouble again. Doubly important. Or he'll cost himself actual time or actual games by the NFL. You're right, Gold. Here's if you want to take the one positive in there, it's just genuinely, the one positive is that, okay, fine, he's not likely to have an issue, right? But it's just so stupid.
Again, if you're just joining us, the news first reported by 41, Matt Foster over at 41, wide receiver Rashee Rice violated his probation after testing positive for marijuana. He has been ordered to serve 30 days in jail. He will miss OTAs and mandatory minicamp. This comes from a 194th Judicial District out in Dallas County, Texas. The date order is from today. He will be released from custody on June 16th.
Is there any internal punishment that I don't know if they can afford to? One, because of the roster.
I mean, he's already missed an OTA. What are they going to do? Sit out the first day of training camp? I
don't know what that would be, but is there anything that the team internally does where to this point, I mean, the league, as far as we know, at least it's been either the league or it's been nothing, essentially. I don't know if anything they're not come out in that nature.
I don't think so. I mean, if they were going to ever cut him, they would have done that a long time ago, I don't, again, this is, as Cody has said a few times, it's not so much that, oh my gosh, he tested positive for weed. It's the fact that you're on probation, and that's part of your probation. You can't test positive for marijuana, so you can't make a good decision yet again. Yep. And you've proved time and time again you're incapable of making smart decisions that don't hurt yourself and your football team.
That's really what it comes down to. It's just what part of and this happens a lot in sports. There are a lot of people in this world who have plenty of talent. Lots of talent even, right? And blow it because of decision making. Whether it be really bad big decisions like the kind of decision he made when he decided to drive 120 miles an hour and get people put people at serious risk. That decision was far worse than this one. But this one was easier. You should have learned the lesson of just don't smoke weed for the next year, if that's what it takes.
You have to stay disciplined. If you want to play, if you want to be accountable, you have as much as you might want to smoke that joint or whatever it is, you can't do it because of, one, the violation of all that stuff, but you're putting yourself in, it's like, and nothing came of it, and this is obviously different, but it's like the cameraman thing or whatever. You're putting yourself in the position to have these things come up about you where you got to just stay out of it.
Yeah.
Well, and like what you said about the discipline part, this is why I also don't think that he'll ever become a great player. You don't even have discipline in regular life. Where I just think that you're just going to be the football player who actively works to be the best you can be. No, you can't even spend an off season not being in trouble. And of course the Chiefs, who we talk about all the time. Boy, as an organization, you guys cannot make it 300. I'll shave my head. You make it 365 days without somebody being in the news happily, but they can't, Gold. They have a really hard time as a franchise staying out of it. But like this one feels so avoidable. So avoidable by Rashee Rice. I think that's what makes it so frustrating. This was easy
as someone pointed out, like now we're talking about this is not, he's 20. You're 26 years old. You've got an opportunity to make a massive amount of money, and you even with that in front of you, like even with that low hanging fruit that is a huge bag full of money in 10 months, you still can't.
Yeah.
Follow the quote unquote the rules of again the rules that are created because you also committed a crime over a year ago.
I think and obviously he put up the police report. You can see Matt Foster is the one who originally broke the story. You can see it over there. It just says, quote, defendant tested positive for THC, defendant placed into custody, defendant ordered to serve 30 days in jail, previously ordered July 17th, 2025, defendant to be released from custody June 16th, 2026, which means he's going to miss a chunk of the Chiefs' off-season plan, and they're going to have to do this. Now, I would say if we were already saying they were kicking around the tires on Jawan Jennings, who's now signed somewhere else, or Stephon Diggs, or Tyreek Hill, can't participate in a lot of stuff anyway because he's coming back from injury. Yeah, if you thought they needed a wide receiver before for depth purposes, if you were in any way convinced this guy's making it through 17 games, hell, he's not. So you have
to act as if he's not going to because you can't trust him. Plain and simple. You can't. So
and maybe you get lucky that you do it. But I guess part of this is like somebody points out from the 785. Like, legitimately, because of what it'll cost him in free agency next season, you're talking about a $20 million joint, $10 million joint. Like, is that worth it to you? Like, Gold, if they said for 1 year, I'll give you $10 million, you're not having a thimble of alcohol for the rest of the 365 days, Gold, you wouldn't touch it. You wouldn't go near it. And so sometimes, like Drew said, it's the discipline.
Well, and you would also...
You got to have another wide receiver. You need some security.
Well, and you would also, hopefully... surround yourself with people who are going to make sure you stay on point with that, Yeah. I think which
someone says
it's a deeper layer to the conversation, but
Yeah, again, it's more just about the principle of not being able to follow, what
ultimately why he got
he's
getting punished for it.
because someone said, hey, marijuana is legal in Missouri. Well, remember, the case is in Texas. Recreational marijuana is not legal in Texas, so it's a parole violation in Texas. That's why.
But it's also like a part of his, even if it's legal in certain states, you can still be, like alcohol is legal. It can still be a condition of your parole not to drink.
Correct.
So like the legality of it, again, Alex and I don't care that he smoked weed.
Yeah.
Like,
whatever.
I think Travis Kelce on his podcast one time said he thinks 90% of the league does. It's not like Rice is in the minority for this usage, right? And we're not condoning or not condoning or whatever drug or whatever. It's fine. Like, that's not the part we take issue with. It's that he had parole. He had rules for his parole, and he violated those, and now he has to go to jail. Now he's going to miss off-season time for the Chiefs in a big year for him and an important year for him because he can't stay out of trouble.
Yeah, someone asked the question. It's a good one. I don't think we have the answer to. Someone was asking, okay, the 30 days that he is now serving till June 16th, is that the additional remember, he was already going to have to serve 30 days.
That I don't know.
I have no idea if he ever served the original 30 day of jail
time. Might have been
time.
like a 30 days that he never actually would have had to serve. He just stayed out of trouble.
Correct. That might have been it. But now because you violated probation, now it's immediate. You have to report, immediately you're going to jail and you're going to serve 30 days.
Oh, man. That's just, again, just very frustrating. He knew he was going to have to go to court. He probably knew as a result of that, Gold, he was going to get drug tested, and he still did it. And so, like, I guess part of this is, like, I just assume it's inevitable now they'll bring in another wide receiver. If it wasn't inevitable before...
Probably was to begin with.
It probably was. But now that's exactly what it's going to look like. the signing is going to look like. They sign a wide receiver tomorrow, it's just going to look like, or 2 weeks from now, it's just going to look like Rashee Rice coverage. They barely have enough wide receivers to get through OTAs right now. Cyrus Allen's about to get some work. Caldwell's about to get some work. Jalen Royals.
That's what it's going to be.
They're going to get some work out there, you know? They're going to get plenty of passes their way. And so, like, and I get it, because it's your player. Sometimes you're just chief. I see a lot of people just being like, oh, we're busting guys. Is that it's a legal substance in Missouri? Again, this is, like you said, it's Dallas court.
On probation.
It's different. He's on probation.
In Texas,
Different
not in the state of Missouri.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
Not expecting that today.
It's just crazy. No.
We were joking around about other stuff, and I saw that from Matt Foster. And I said,
I mean, again, this was Andy Reid last week. And look, Andy was wrong on this one, and Andy's job is to cover for his players. But Andy Reid last week said he doesn't need to be told to stay out of trouble. Did he already know he was in trouble? Had he already taken the test? Like,
no, obviously.
Which version was it, you know?
Yeah, well, you don't have to do too much talk on that. I mean, he knows. You know, nobody knows better than the player in those situations. And
well, I think he doesn't know, and you should tell him more. Like, that's my stance.
I mean,
this.
it sounds like
he needs to be reminded every day.
Yeah, it sounds like they've at least told him, you know, enough times where they felt content, where hey, he's aware of what he needs to do. It's just a matter, of course, of doing it. Yeah. I mean, look, Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they can only do so much.
Is this a breaking point for you? Would you like? If the Chiefs cut him, would you be like, okay, I get it?
Oh, I would understand.
Like, let's not say you'd cut him, but if they cut him, would you be like, yeah, I get it?
Yeah, I would totally get it. I think that could have been the answer a long time ago. I think we understand the nature of the NFL. They're not cutting him for this, I don't think. To me, they would have cut bait already prior to this. Again,
I don't think this is going to be the straw.
To me, the sign will be, I don't know how on earth they will give him an extension, and even if he has a great year.
From a football standpoint, I wonder if it was before the draft, I wonder if they actually would cut him. If it was,
it's way tougher after the draft when you didn't address wide receiver.
They probably think about it longer, Drew.
If it was before the draft, I wonder if they actually would have considered it.
Yeah, I think it would
more than they would now.
I just don't think, like, the reality of the business of football. I don't think they can afford to cut him now. They have put themselves in a spot where, like, they need him in 2026.
Well, and the problem is in 2027, the number. I don't even know what happened in the year. I don't even know what's going on. And I already know 1 calendar year from now, 8 months from now, the number one need for the Chiefs roster in 2027 by a mile is wide receiver. By a mile. Unless Xavier Worthy takes some huge leap forward.
Even if he does, they still should take one in the first or second round.
I mean, it's or sign George Pickens or trade for their version of A.J. Brown or anything else in between. Wide receiver is a massive need for this team down the road. They don't have any answers at it. And it goes back to, like, maybe in the draft and why we talked so hard about the other stuff. But, man, that is just, shoof. I mean, and, you know, like, and I think correctly, you know,
just get from a football end, get everything possible out of him in 2026. Wipe your hands clean and be done with it.
Yeah. And, again, we pointed this out, I don't know, when the Jawan Jennings story came out last weekend that maybe they had made an effort. I got to say, it's not a bunch of Boy Scouts in the free agent market between Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill. It's not like these are the role models of stay out of trouble.
Fair.
I mean, you know,
like at least the Chiefs have been able to handle Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, it's, you know, it's a whole nother problem. It's like, but at the same time, this goes back, and I've said this before with the Chiefs. This is what, you know, I don't have a lot of issues with the way they run their franchise. You know why? They win a lot. They win a lot of games. They win a lot of Super Bowls. They're a little too laxed in the discipline department. You know, they don't. I just finished watching the documentary The Crash on Netflix, and Andy Reid's organization essentially runs it like that girl's parents did. It's like, do you have rules or a system in order in place to keep people out of trouble? Because you guys get in trouble more than any other organization in football, seemingly. And part of it, Gold, is their willingness to take risks on players with off the field issues. They don't really they don't have a problem with taking those chances, and they historically do take those chances. But man, it's tough. Just can't trust them. It's a really difficult spot, obviously, for the Chiefs. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, Rashee Rice, according to Matt Foster and the police report that he posted with it, Rashee Rice has violated his probation after testing positive for marijuana. He's been ordered to serve 30 days in jail starting immediately, meaning he will miss the Chiefs' OTAs and mandatory mini camp. He will serve time until or be released on June 16th of 2026. I guess there's a possibility, like sometimes in those cases, they don't make him serve the full 30 days. But, I mean, at this point, they probably will. And at this, you can't just assume one day outside of it. But they're in a tough spot with Rice, because at some point it's like, what do you do? Like, you keep a guy on your roster who keeps getting in trouble. You only have to deal with it for a year more, and then you don't have to have him on your roster anymore anyway. Yep. And what's his free agent contract going to be? No one's going to give him more than a 1 or 2 year deal in the offseason unless he gets
I think you'll be surprised. Again,
yards.
I wouldn't do it, but I think you'll be surprised. If he goes out there and has the year I think he might have, which is 1,200 yards and 7-8 touchdowns, he's going to get a 3-year deal from somebody with north of $60 million. It's going to happen. We see this happen in the NFL all the time. I just don't think the Chiefs should be said team. I don't trust him whatsoever. And here's the latest circumstance today where he can't even follow protocol around his probation. That's now landing him 30 days in jail. All right, up next, we'll get to what's trending. We'll also talk more about maybe the doomsday look at the 2014 playoff that shouldn't be doomsday next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
We're going to try to tickle your tonsils.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Weather hit Kansas City last night. We had big-time winds. That might have done damage to your roof, and if it did, Century Roofing is the company you want to call. Why? Well, they were voted best roofing company in Kansas City last year, thanks to readers of the Kansas City Star. 4-time best roofing company in Johnson County, 4 years in a row, as a matter of fact, and going for their 5th. But also, that's who I call when I have issues with my roof. Had a little bit of damage done a few years ago. They came out, did some repairs, and then had a little bit more damage done when that hail and rain came through about a month ago. So if you're concerned, if you're hearing a drip, Century Roofing is not some fly-by-night, knock on your door, oh, I'll take care of it because you had a little hail. Roofing company. They've done 30,000 roofs in the metro area for over 35 years, and they are locally owned and operated. So you know you're dealing with people from Kansas City in Kansas City and will take care of the job that you need. That's why it's important that you trust Century Roofing to do it. Sometimes, and they know how to work with your insurance companies, or if you need a replacement or simply maybe just repairs. Either way, they're the kind of company who can handle it for you. So trust the pillars of strength. Go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at centuryroofingkc.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Heartland Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. Heartland Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Memorial Day's almost here, and I've got a better plan than sweating in the kitchen or over the grill. I'm letting Hy-Vee handle all of the food. I'm ordering my party trays right through the Hy-Vee app. Whether I want custom builds or their huge grab-and-go selection like charcuterie, wings, seafood, sandwiches, or smoked meat, it's all there. A quick stop at their massive wine and spirits department, and I'm done. One convenient stop for the perfect party. So this Memorial Day, let Hy-Vee handle everything, from the food to the beverages, only at Hy-Vee.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load this Memorial Day at Hy-Vee. Save 25 cents per gallon on fuel with every $35 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 25 cents per gallon with your $35 purchase, 50 cents per gallon with a $70 purchase, and so on. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the Memorial Day Fuel Saver event Monday, May 25th, only at Hy-Vee.
FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. We're talking those special drops you won't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. And the best part, it's every single day. Just head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. Maybe you want to look at series pricing, and instead of betting an individual game, you want to be able to go and bet overall how many games a particular playoff series is going to go, or who could end up with the most points during that series. You name it, you can check it all out on the FanDuel app and use some of their trends and research tools that are right there in the app. So whether you're betting the early game or gearing up for primetime, make sure you open the FanDuel app and see what's waiting for you today. Go to FanDuel.com/local to get started. That's FanDuel.com/local. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA and the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are not withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
If your engine takes longer to start in the morning than you do, don't worry. Just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was just at Staples. They're having a huge 40th anniversary sale.
40 years. Note to self, send flowers.
Up to 50% off. Save on chairs, paper, balloons, and more.
Balloons?
Yeah, Party City is now at Staples.
Surprise!
But the anniversary sale is only 2 weeks, so...
Quick, celebrate 40 years of savings at Staples with up to 50% off. Shop chairs, paper, break room supplies, and more. 2 weeks only in 523.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan. We hope you're enjoying Beyond the Pitch KC, a podcast on how Kansas City landed the world's biggest sporting event. It's presented by Commerce Bank. Visit commercebank.com/soccer26. New episodes released every Wednesday on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's trending?
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Number one on what's trending in the news, we spent the last half hour talking about, initially reported by KSHB 41's Matt Foster. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice violated his probation after testing positive for marijuana. He's been ordered to serve 30 days in jail. He will now miss Chiefs OTAs and mandatory minicamp. This comes from a Dallas County, Texas criminal district court. He was, date of the order was today, placed in custody today, 30 days in jail. He'll be released from custody on June 16th. A lot of people have been asking questions about, hey, it's just marijuana. Terms of his probation, though, are no marijuana. So, therefore, he violated said probation. That's why he is headed to jail for 30 days. We're going to talk more about it, I'm sure, right after what's trending. But yet again, add this to the list of terrible decisions that he continues to make. And this one landed him in jail for 30 days.
Stay off the weed.
That's all he had to do in this case. That's all he had to do in this case. Despite all the other dumb decisions he's made, he still had a chance to get clear of it. But no. You can't follow the basic So, oh my gosh, this one pisses me off because I'm like, we've talked about this. We've talked about this for so long, and I've told you for weeks and weeks and weeks I have no interest in giving this kid an extension. He's not even a kid anymore. That's the other problem. He's 26 years old. I mean, what the hell are you doing, man? What the hell are you doing? So I'm done with it. Get everything you can out of 2026 for Rashee Rice, which I actually think will be good production, and then wipe your hands clean. Let somebody else deal with it.
Next up on What's Trending, the Royals in action tonight. It'll be a bullpen game. Bailey Falter will actually get the start, but obviously because of the injury to Chris Bubich, he won't start tonight. They dropped that game last night against the Red Sox. Now 8 games below 500. The floor this season has been 9 games below 500. They currently sit at 20-28.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, NBA postseason continues tonight. Eastern Conference Final. We got the Knicks and the Cavs. That was after an unbelievable Game 1 with the Spurs and Thunder. We'll get Game 2 of that series. But tonight, you have the New York Knicks, who are, as you would expect, favorites against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are, in fact, 7.5-point favorites.
Next up on What's Trending, Carlos Alcaraz has withdrawn from Wimbledon due to an ongoing wrist issue. You might remember he withdrew from the French Open back on April 28th, but will not take place at Wimbledon either. That makes Sinner the current favorite to win the tournament, but tough for tennis, obviously. You want the best players out on the tennis court, but unfortunately he won't be available, Gold.
That is What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. 913-586-7965. Someone says he smoked a plant. Oh, no. Well, he smoked a plant. He violated probation. He gets to go to jail. So you can make a joke about it all you want, but that's what reality is for Rashee Rice.
He could have not smoked that plant and not gone to jail for 30 days.
Yeah.
Again, our issue is not with the marijuana part of it. Whatever. But my issue is with the fact that he wasn't allowed to and then now has to spend 30 days in jail because of it.
He put himself in a position where he couldn't do that.
Look, I've never been on probation. My understanding is you're going to get tested at some point. Huh. So if you can't be smart enough to not smoke some weed and land yourself in jail, then you're a complete moron and a complete moron.
Yes.
And he has shown that time and time again.
He possesses, at this point, zero common sense as it relates to any of this. And that's again, the issue. The issue is people are counting on you. You're counting on yourself. You're costing yourself millions of dollars in doing this. And so a lot of this is, that is a part of the parole. And we could, look, we're not going to get into the parole system and why there might be flaws with it. The issue is, you can watch John Oliver's show if you want that. But legitimately,
he did not violate his. He's not on parole. He didn't violate his parole. He violated probation.
Sorry,
That's two different things.
But same issue, I guess. But yes, I understand. But so his probation, there are rules. He decided against following those rules, and as a result of it, he's run himself into some serious legal trouble. And a lot of it is just as simple as, Gold, you and I talked about this. All you do is stay out of trouble. Just stay out of trouble. That was your only job. Stay out of trouble, have a massive year, get a huge payday. That was your job. And the have a massive year part, you and I have talked about this. When he's on the field, he's a good NFL player. And that's what makes it so frustrating. And this is why, I got to say, we are on, I think, 72-hour watch of will they cut him? I don't think they will.
So. I don't think it's happening.
I don't think they will. But we have to at least.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked.
Really?
Yeah, they've had opportunities time and time again if they wanted to do that, and now it's May. The season and training camp's a couple months away. The draft has already passed you by, so you couldn't go out and go heavy on offense or wide receiver. No, they're going to have to roll with him in 2026, and then I believe the cut ties after the end of the season.
So yeah, oh man, I mean, and again, they'll probably get the most. They'll probably get the most out of him. Gold, he's going to have a huge year. We agree.
I told you, I think he's going to have 1,200 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns. And fans are going to try to talk themselves into keeping him. And people didn't like it when I said it 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I said, I don't trust him. I'm not giving him a contract. And then this happened. So I feel even more confident in that stance. I don't know why anybody should trust him moving forward. Let another team make that mistake. Doesn't need to be the Chiefs just because you drafted him. You don't have to triple down on it.
So how quickly do they sign another wide receiver?
I mean, it's the same timeline. Before training camp, they're in the Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs type of category because, again, Rashee Rice is going to be, quote-unquote, available week 1 of the season unless he has another misstep. He's not going to jail for 5 months. I mean, so it's not going to technically impact week 1 of the season. It is just, again, the continued poor decision-making.
I'm going to say by the end of next week.
maybe. But I would wonder if they were just going to do that anyway.
Just because they're it might be more for that reason than it is with Rashid. Just because he's missing OTAs, and Pat's going to be there, presumably throwing. So, if anything, at least be able to try to get a jump start on the chemistry, whatever that may be with Patrick Mahomes by the end of next week, because there's 2 rounds of OTAs and then mandatory minicamp. At least by then, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't know. This is what, again, it's one of the very few issues I would say I have with Andy Reid. You got to run a tighter ship. Like, you've been a coach for a very long time. I understand it. You've had so many players get in trouble over all the years. You got to run a tighter ship. You got to, last week, I think it looks stupid now that last week he came on Carrington's show and he said, I don't have to tell him a bunch. He knows what's on the line. No, he didn't.
It does look bad.
He clearly did not know what was on the line. You should have told him 1,000 times. You should have had a coach living in his apartment. Like, he needed somebody or needed guidance in this case.
Yeah, but you can't babysit him. Yes, it's the coach's
that's true.
You can't.
I'll give you that.
He's 26 freaking years old. He's not some 17-year-old kid. I mean, this guy's got to grow up. He's 26.
It's more Rice's fault than Andy Reid. I'm not saying that.
He's 26 years old, man. I mean, and you look, nobody's saying that you can't ever make a mistake in your life. Okay, he made a really bad mistake that resulted in the harm of others and a felony. Okay. Let's go ahead and say, like, you can move on from that, even if you want to wipe that away, which I don't think you can, but if you want to play that game. All right, well then, how about be a model citizen moving forward, please? And for your own sake, because you got tens of millions of dollars on the line, and you can't even do the basic thing, which is they tell you don't smoke some damn weed.
Just stay out of trouble for 1 year.
So
2 weeks.
That's where we're at.
3 months. Here's the question I guess I have as it relates to that now.
Yeah.
Ooh, percentage chance he catches a suspension?
I don't think you can get suspended for that. That was the personal conduct policy.
So under the personal conduct policy, there are no rules against weed anymore. So I imagine the NFLPA would put up a pretty big fight on his behalf if they were to put it up. But I got to think going to jail is violating the personal conduct policy. But he was also at risk of doing this anyway. I think it's only like a 10% chance he catches a suspension.
I don't think he's getting suspended, man.
I don't think it is. I don't want to put it at 0, I guess. That's a 5-10% chance. The league looks at it and they're like, you know what? Let's suspend this knucklehead and figure it out. Let's do the fight and see if we can't catch him for a game. Partially reason, I guess I think it's 10% Gold is they wanted to get him worse. They wanted to get him for more games.
Last year you're talking about?
Yeah, they were actively trying to get him for more games. And they had to settle because they know they got bylaws and rules and stuff that stops them from making that suspension too deep. So if they try to slap him with a 2-gamer and they'll take the 1, they might just try to get him for 1 because they feel like, we owe you. And as you and I both know, the 1 game's pretty important, seeing how it's at home against Denver. So even 1 game would be a big deal, at least on that end. I think it's a small chance, but a chance. It's kind of like the being cut. I think it's like a 5%, 10% chance. I don't know if I'd be as stunned as you, but it's something. I mean, it's definitely something. I don't know, man. Someone says second personal conduct violation could be up to a year. I was like, I know, but I don't know.
I don't know if this falls.
I don't know if this violates the personal conduct policy. Right?
I don't know definitively. I would think not, but we'd have to go through and read the...
No, he has not spent any time in jail, by the way, for those who have asked about the 30 days he was reportedly... And we don't know, Alex and I don't know if this 30 days counts as the 30 days he was hypothetically going to have to serve anyway.
Right. All we know is he is in jail right this second, as according to the court document that 41 posted.
That he was immediately.
He is serving right now. He is behind bars currently as we speak.
Yeah, it's an issue. Oh, man. It's so frustrating, Gold, because you're right. There is this part of it that it's as simple as just stay out of trouble. Just don't. And I don't know what his probation. I don't know all the rules of his probation. It could have been no alcohol, no weed. Could have been just no weed. Could have been don't travel out of the country. It could have been the standard set of stuff as he continues to go through it. And it's just like, and it's just a part of it. And all you do is stay out of trouble. From the 563, somebody says Cody wants them to, lock him in a cage. That's not what I said. But can we all agree, like, Andy can't babysit every player and he can't be in charge of every player. His teams have a disproportionately higher number of incidents than any other team in the league. So either they don't have the same number of discipline or guidance or those things, or they take on more people who have already had some trouble and are willing to take those issues on or take the risk, and maybe they should take less risk. Maybe they should play it safer with the players who had off-the-field issues before they bring them in. That's the funny part about wide receiver. Two of the names that people bring up are Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs. Two players had an off-the-field incident.
What you're describing more is going back to the draft process and how they evaluate how they evaluate character concerns and all that. I understand Andy Reid's the head coach, but it is not like Eric Bieniemy. When we talk about discipline and stuff, it's not Eric Bieniemy's job to babysit someone and make sure he's not going to go smoke some weed and violate his probation.
Yeah.
You have to just grow up.
The Eric Bieniemy discipline is like the knowing your assignment.
Yeah, running the right routes.
Hang on to the ball. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I get
Showing
that
up to practice,
I get that if you're a head coach of any sports team and there's players that are getting in trouble, the coach is going to answer to that. But I don't put, come on now, I don't put, especially this latest incident here, on Andy Reid. If you want to be critical of Brett Veach drafting players and whether or not certain players should be brought into your community and how you went about your character concerns and all that, that's a more than fair conversation we have had in the past and we could have again. But in terms of this exact thing, it's the offseason. How are the Chiefs supposed to prevent Rashee Rice from smoking weed? Violated parole. I mean, at some point, common sense has to prevail. And this kid, I keep saying kid, he's 26. He's not a kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any.
I mean, again, they definitely can't ever give him an extension. That would just be, because then I'll say this much. It is on him. It's always more on him, the person. But if they gave him an extension, like he had 1,200 yards.
Oh, they give him an extension and then something.
It's all on them.
Totally. Yeah, you can't. Again, they do not need to tie themselves to him for another 4 years after already what has transpired in the rookie contract.
I am going to have to look up later because we don't have the time in the show to do the proper research, but violating probation could be a violation of the personal conduct policy. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, I'm sure.
I don't know. But, it continues to be, it continues to be something with Rice. If you just missed it or if you just happen to be tuning in, this happens, by the way. You're like, no, I've been listening this whole time. Somebody at 1:35 sent us a text and said, hey, Rice violated his probation. We're like, yes. We know. But Rashee Rice has been ordered to serve 30 days in jail starting immediately, according to the police report obtained by KSHB and Matt Foster for violating probation for testing positive for marijuana, which if he serves that entire 30 days, he would miss both Chiefs OTAs and minicamp as a result of that. So
I want to take an updated look at the free agent options, as you said. But I don't really know if we thought they were going to sign Tyreek Hill, then of course you still think they were going to sign. Or if you think they were going to sign Stephon Diggs, I don't know if it causes them to rush out and sign anybody tomorrow. There's also no rush. I mean, OTAs is coming up, but a veteran wide receiver, you tell me if all he had was time to work during camp with Mahomes, I don't think it's a necessity to go out and rush out and sign somebody.
Just so you know, the other names on the list: DeAndre Hopkins,
another
Deebo Samuel, Curtis Samuel. We would assume at some point Brandon Ayuk. He's not actually technically a free agent. They're still begging some team to trade for him.
The Niners.
Keenan Allen, somebody we had mentioned yesterday as well. Josh Reynolds. Those are the biggest names available. Obviously, I think we know Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill being the biggest of the names. But I just, I don't know, you can go into the season and say a wide receiver unit of Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy is going to play a combined 34 games. If I set an over-under of those two right now, I'd set it at 20 and a half. Between the injuries for both of them and the issues that Rice has had off the field, it's just hard to know that you're going to get 34 games combined out of the two of those guys. And those are their most talented wide receivers. But right now, wide receiver 3 is Tyquan Thornton. He was wide receiver 5 or 6 last year going into the year. So there's a big difference in the depth part. And now one of your guys is in trouble again.
Someone was asking, could the team fine him for missing mandatory training camp? He's not going to miss training camp, though.
Mandatory.
They said they said training. No. I don't believe so.
I doubt it. Not if it's not mandatory. He can miss for whatever reason. Even this, I guess. Oh, so frustrating, Gold. I could see it just like all of us. We're all just like, are you serious? Are you are you serious? But yeah, everybody has it now. So
the look on your face, Cody, said it all on the stream. I don't know if people caught that, but as soon as Gold mentioned Rashee Rice, you immediately lowered your head, deep sigh. That's what everybody felt at the same time. Yeah,
frustrated, man.
Yeah,
I'm frustrated.
Someone says
I'm sure that's what his teammates are doing too.
Someone says we need a palate cleanser before you guys end the show.
What do you guys want to talk
about?
Says
let Drew talk about the NBA.
What do you think about the Knicks game tonight? You like the Knicks in the series?
I'm not going to end this show.
How about Wemby last night? Wasn't that fun?
Dude,
Wemby was ridiculous.
Wemby is unbelievable. He's one of those. I think because Gold, you said he's a generational athlete. I think I forget who it was. I think was it Carrington who put this out? That there's really only been 3 generational athletes in the NBA in our lifetime, and that was, LeBron, Shaq, and Wemby. And it made me think of just the greatest athletes where you see them and you're just like in awe. And it's almost like you're watching a phenomenon where it's like this person is not at his size. He is not supposed to do what he's able to do. And it's just amazing to watch. I think it is, it's one of those things where you appreciate what you have, but it's also like you're enjoying it in the same breath where that game last night felt like it was the NBA Finals. Like it did. There was some aura to it where it felt both teams hate each other. The crowd was electric as it always is in Oklahoma City. Like it felt like
reigning MVP versus the best player.
Tariq's on the call. Like I know that Bree normally does it too, and he's amazing. But it just felt like it was epic. And I think the Cavs and Knicks series will be good. I don't know if it's game one probably won't hold a candle to game one that we saw yesterday, but I think the Knicks win. I think it can be a good series. I'm intrigued to see how Donovan Mitchell and those guys look compared to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. It's good for basketball when the Knicks are in these games as much as I think so too. Might not like the Knicks. It's just good.
The Knicks, it's that kind of franchise.
Someone says the last time they won a title, Phil Jackson averaged 4 points a game for them.
Yeah, it's been a
Phil Jackson.
It has been a very, very long time since the Knicks won a title.
After the Cavs had that great performance in Game 7 against the Pistons, part of me does think they're going to lay an egg tonight. Like that the Knicks are going to roll. That the Knicks are going to roll past the Cavs.
I think even Josh Hart was doing an interview and was like talking about some of the things he's been doing. He's like, dude, I've been bored. I haven't been doing anything because the Knicks, of course, swept and the Nuggets or the Thunder had to wait a little bit too. I do like the fact that there's no double day off stuff with these conference finals. It is every single day for the next week. We have a game of some kind in the NBA, which is exciting for anybody who's a basketball fan. But hopefully the series are good. I think they will be.
I mean, the Western Conference final already gave us everything possible.
I think that one will live up to the expectation of going at least 6, maybe 7 games.
Knicks 7.5-point favorites tonight against the Cavs. You guys, if I gave you $100, would you bet the Knicks or the Cavs?
Cavs.
You'd bet the Cavs to cover.
I'd bet the Cavs to cover. I bet the Knicks to win.
I think the Garden is going to be so insane tonight. I could see it getting ugly. I think just game one, emotion, energy. The Knicks are fresher. I don't want to get into the whole Russ versus rest thing, but the Knicks are fresher. I think the Knicks could roll tonight.
It's a good thing. Chiefs don't need Rice anyway. They're a running team now.
Oh, gosh.
Problem solved. There's a running team. Hold on. I'm kidding.
You went back to it.
Stop. Yeah, the whole point was a palate cleanse.
We went back to it.
Do you want to just talk about how I got mad at someone on the text line for... We were having fun on this show. It was a pretty light show, even with the Royals struggling. No one likes this news more than the Royals. Fly under the radar for a night, boys.
No,
you like your nails painted, ladies? That makes less sense under context if you weren't listening to the show earlier.
Cody was having a moment with the listener,
Do you still like the Thunder to win the series, by the way? Or do you think the Spurs win it now?
I still think the Thunder. I'll still take the Thunder, especially at the odds I think you can get it at.
Oh, now probably. I still have the Spurs in 7 like I did yesterday.
Oh, you have the Spurs in 7. That's right. I had the Thunder in 6, so I guess you've got the... I mean, now I'd have to think about it a little bit.